Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On KAHI, your day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two, with a dad joke fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real.
Oh, so real.
Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee.
Let's do an espresso today, shall we?
It's Chris in the morning with your daily news.
Here we go, everybody. And good Wednesday morning to you. It is July 23rd, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 6 a.m. here at FM 104.5 AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down. Beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic. All the adjectives. Studio A, KAHI Studio. Looking outside. Gang, I gotta tell you. If this is summer, producer Shane, if this is summer, come on, let's just stick with it, shall we? I was talking to one of our neighbors the other day. They're like, yeah, it's a false fall. I'm like, well, keep it around. Keep the false fall around. I'm here for it. So we are, for what, July 23rd, what the weather's looking like. I was chilly this morning. I actually had the windows open in the house. Woke up this morning. It's like, oh my gosh, I gotta shut the window here for a little bit.
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
like 55 degrees when I checked my temperature app this morning. So not too bad. Producer Shane's here in the building. Shane, good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
The shirt of the day, the SOTD, looking very nice. The Plumeria again? Yeah, but the blue version, I really like that color of blue. That kind of aqua marine blue there. That's very, very nice with the green background. Man, good gracious. Whoever gets the designing job for these shirts, let's just pick one flower and make it several different colors against several different backgrounds. That seems to be the
very simple theme, but
very simple theme, but it works.
Yeah,
lots of different colors. If you want to check out producer Shane's shirt, as always, you can join us online on YouTube, youtube.com/@KAHI-radio. Go ahead and peek in online here into beautiful Studio A. Now, Shane, let's start out the morning with a little bit of controversy here, if we can. Let's just get right into it. It's 6 a.m. I know our brains are still waking up here. Big controversy online. In-N-Out moving to Tennessee. Mm-hmm. The billionaire owner at 43 years old.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Lindsay Snyder is the billionaire owner, president of California-based burger chain In-N-Out. I've got to imagine she's part of the family. And
she is. She's the granddaughter of the founders.
Yeah. That ain't a bad shake.
No, I heard
pun intended.
Yeah. I heard a little bit about her because my ex-wife used to work for In-N-Out back when she was in high school.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and at that time, 20-some-odd years ago, Lindsay Snyder was like, oh, she's the one in line for the company, and nobody really kind of trusted her at the time, is my understanding.
Yeah.
But she's grown into the role.
Yeah.
And seems to be doing well with it. So
apparently, yeah. Do it, and at 43, that's quite the operation to be in charge of, but doing a great job, of course, based out of Southern California here. Basically, there's been a whole thing online. She basically said, peace out. We're going to Tennessee. I'm moving to Tennessee. California's rough. And yeah, okay, that's fine. I have a lot of people that have pieced out of California. That's fine. But everybody's all up in arms because, oh my gosh, In-N-Out's leaving their roots. They're going to abandon California and blah, 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 blah. Well, it turns out that sparked a lot of controversy online. In-N-Out HQ is still staying in California. They're just opening up another office in Tennessee. Oh. So, yeah. So everybody just relax. Just take a chill pill. Apparently In-N-Out, this is from CNBC on the website there. Basically, I was looking and, oh my gosh, the In-N-Out, this proves that California is going down in flames and it's the worst place ever. No, the headquarters are still here. She says the company isn't moving its corporate headquarters to Tennessee. It's merely opening a new office there. Okay. But there's the skeptic in me that's like, are they opening an office there and then they're going to eventually move everything over
test
there?
The waters. And, well, I mean, it could make some sense even if they don't move long-term move. It's just, it expands their footprint to.
It does. Well, and to me, that makes sense. Yeah. Like if you're going to, like, they've expanded now. It used to be like, oh my gosh, In-N-Out's only in California. You have to come to California, and all the Californians that leave, they're like, I come back, I've got to have my In-N-Out, which is fine. And then a buddy of mine moved up to Boise, and then they opened up an In-N-Out. Kind of, it's like the equivalent of the the fountains. It's like this area like the fountains in Roseville. 8 hours when In-N-Out first opened up there. 8-hour wait in your car to get some In-N-Out there.
It's good. It's not that good.
Well, yeah, you got all these Californians moving up there that got it. Well, and there's the hype. The hype train around it is real.
Huge.
It's absolutely legit. But yeah, she says, quote, "We're not moving In-N-Out corporate headquarters," Snyder 43 said on Monday. "We're not leaving California or leaving our roots behind. Each one of our locations is here to stay," unquote. But yeah, I get it, because it's in Arizona. Yeah, I've been in business trips to Arizona. It's in Arizona. It's in Nevada. It's in Idaho now. I'm sure that, yeah, absolutely. They're going to, well, let's be honest. There's been a lot of Californians that have been going to Tennessee as well. So it's probably just following the Californian footprint. Californians, including my cousin and my aunt and uncle who moved out there to Clarksville, Tennessee. So I'm sure they'll be excited to see if there's a In-N-Out coming near them. But speaking of In-N-Out, if you've had your In-N-Out fill and you're trying to see if you want to find a new diner, well, if you're in the LA area, Tesla, did you hear about this? The Tesla diner opened. So why not? We're into cars now. We're into trying to put people on Mars, and why not open a food place too? The first Tesla diner, this is from the Morning Brew, first Tesla diner, what am I, from New York? The first Tesla diner opened in West Hollywood this week. Wonder why they chose West Hollywood. Like, they could have chosen, like Newport Beach or Burbank or, why am I blanking on south of downtown LA? Irvine. There we go. Why you could have chosen Irvine. No, apparently it's in West Hollywood, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's an eatery owned by the automaker where you can grab a bite while, of course, charging your Model Y. So actually, that does kind of make sense, though. To me, that does make sense. If people need to charge their Tesla, why not have the chargers right there and have them spend money grabbing a bite to eat as well? So let's see. It includes a 66-foot LED screens, two 66-foot LED screens that play movies. Are you looking it up online right now?
No, it's
okay.
A different thing.
It's a humanoid, of course, a humanoid robot that serves popcorn, and a menu with burgers, fries, and something called Epic Bacon. So if successful, Tesla plans to expand futuristic concepts to more cities. So there we go. Who says the classic American diner experience was dead? So I'll see if we can find a picture of this, of what it looks like. But yeah, the Tesla diner now opened up in West Hollywood. So I guess this is an experimental, because so In-N-Out started down there. McDonald's started down there in Southern California. I guess Tesla is just following in the footprints of these major major burger places that are starting in Southern California. But everybody who was all up in arms about In-N-Out moving out of California, no, the corporate headquarters are staying here. All the restaurants are staying here. By the way, if you become a franchise owner of a restaurant, that ain't bad money. I hear it's pretty darn good money. It's a lot of hours.
It depends on which franchise you get in.
Well, that's really? Oh, what is that?
I mean, like, McDonald's franchise.
Well, I meant In-N-Out franchise.
They don't have franchises.
Oh, I thought they did have franchise. I thought you became an owner of a particular store.
Maybe I'm wrong. But my understanding was they're all company owned.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, if you head up an In-N-Out, if you're the head honcho at a particular In-N-Out store, it ain't bad money. I know the hours are pretty brutal there.
Yeah.
But still not too bad. So there she is, 43 years old, the billionaire owner. All right. Well, good for you. Way to be born into that family, Lindsay. So In-N-Out, staying here in California. Everybody just put your up in arms down here. We're going to be okay. Hey, by the way, if today is your birthday, let's get to this like we'd like to do at the top of the hour. Happy stinking birthday to you. Hope you have a fantastic day today. If you were born today, you share a birthday with Pee Wee Reese, American baseball player and sportscaster, born on this day in 1918. Don Imus, American radio host, born on this day in 1940. I vaguely remember him. I think he had something, early in the morning or something like that. Let's see. Woody Harrelson, American actor, born on this day in 1961. Philip Seymour Hoffman, born on this day in 1967. Alison Krauss, American singer-songwriter and fiddler. Okay, born on this day in 1971. And Daniel Radcliffe, English actor, Harry Potter there, born on this day in 1989. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you. If today is your birthday, birthday. And speaking of today, we need to find out what our weather is looking like today. He's been waiting patiently in the wings. Meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies today, warm temperatures in the low 80s, a southwest wind about 6 to 12 miles per hour. Light winds tonight, mostly clear skies in the mid to upper 50s. It'll be in the low 80s again on Thursday, mostly sunny skies expected and light southwest winds. Friday's going to be mostly sunny, right around 82 degrees. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 10 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:10 a.m. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. During that break, I'm committed to finding pictures of this new Tesla diner. What the heck does this new Tesla diner? We'll see if we can do our best to describe it here. I imagine producer Shane is going to be like a lot of chrome is what it's going to look like. We'll have more coming up. Stay tuned. More after this.
If you love live music and want to be up close and personal with the band, there's only one place to go, the Torch Club. This hotspot is the place to be with 2 shows a day, Wednesday to Sunday. Check out the upcoming shows at torchclub.net or just drop by 904 15th Street in Sacramento. The Torch Club. There's always something happening.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins.
Oh my goodness, they're a bad kisser. This woman complained that her husband was bad.
Well, why is he your husband? Golly.
Thought he would get better at it.
No, not unless you tell him. If that doesn't have something going on, then I
Did
can't
somebody
go.
tell you years later that you...
No, I've always been impressed with my handiwork.
Weekdays from 1 to 4 on the Voice of the Foothills.
FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
This is Jana from Jana Johnston Photography. I advertise on KAHI Radio because it helps me reach people throughout the foothills who are looking for the best pictures to capture their memories that will last a lifetime. Whether it's a wedding, engagement, graduation, or celebrating a newborn, KAHI Radio connects me with my target audience like only radio can. Thanks, KAHI.
To advertise your business on KAHI Radio, contact the KAHI sales staff at 530-885-5636 today.
12 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:12 a.m. All right, now, before we went to the break there, we said producer Shane and I were committed here to finding pictures of this Tesla diner just to see what this thing's looking like. We imagined a lot of chrome. Well, it turns out we're kind of right here. And Shane, you said, oh, dear God, I hope it doesn't look like a Cybertruck. It doesn't, although it kind of has the color vibes of a Cybertruck here. Now, let's try and explain a little bit of what we're looking like. It looks like, now it's on Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood here, so I guess it kind of makes sense there. But it looks like this kind of retro vibe look here, like circular UFO-ish look.
It's kind of like the 40s and early 50s imagining the space age kind of vibe.
Yeah. It's got that. Yeah, I got that. UFO vibe. Maybe, kind of 40s, 50s vibe there. Looks like there's a lot of neon, like a classic neon diner sign there. I kind of think a little bit like Mel's Diner a little bit. You think of like the classic Mel's Diner. But like if Mel's Diner was reimagined in chrome. So it's, this very circular building. It's got these kind of oval, I think those are umbrellas. It looks like it's got a little bit of rooftop seating there and then some LED lighting around the middle of it. I'm not seeing any pictures. Oh, are there any pictures of the inside here? Nobody's showing pictures of the inside here, but other, these publicity shots where obviously they have like a Cybertruck and every sort of Tesla model charging outside of the diner there. So, no, it's interesting. Maybe there'll be more Tesla diners coming our way. We'll see. But I don't know. Would you go there? I think I would go there for the novelty of it, at least once.
The novelty, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know that this would be... I guess unless you have a Tesla and you need to charge your car...
That's why we have superchargers across the country for
right?
anymore, and,
Yeah. I just don't see, it looks kind of cool. Maybe it's going to be a novelty thing for a while. I don't know. I could be wrong. But given the choice of all the different eateries around here, like,
exactly.
are we really going to go to a Tesla diner? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, but that's what it looks like. If you're wondering what it looks like, I guess you can go online and look it up yourself. But it's this kind of chrome oval spaceship-looking thing that's got the classic neon diner sign on it. So there you go. We'll see if the Tesla diner takes off, and if we have one coming to a shopping mall near us. All right, it is 15 minutes past the top of the hour. Speaking of diners and businesses and all of that, it is time for us to turn it over now, as we do, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Power company GE Vernova's business was better than expected in recent months. The stock's up 3.5%. Its earnings and revenue topped expectations, and it's raising its forecast for the year. AT&T says it expects to save between $6.5 and $8 billion in taxes in coming years because of the recently passed tax and spending bill. AT&T expects to invest $3.5 billion of the savings into its network to step up its fiber internet build-out. Otis, the elevator and escalator company, though, is reporting a weaker quarter. It was impacted by a slump in China sales. Stock futures are higher, helped by the U.S. trade deal with Japan. Tesla and Google's parent company Alphabet report earnings after the Wall Street close. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
This is Andrew Twidwell, owner of ABT Plumbing, Electric, Heat, and Air. ABT has been in business since 2001, and we are thrilled to have been voted Auburn's best plumbing company and best heating and cooling company in Auburn Journal's Best of Auburn promotion. We're very proud to have placed as runner-up in electrical category as well. Our technicians are experienced and friendly. If you have an issue with your plumbing, need a whole house generator, or maybe your furnace isn't working, give ABT a call. Reach us at 530-230-9004 for excellent service. It really is as easy as ABT.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:16 a.m. Let's talk about another event for the calendar. It is Hot Summer Nights. Yeah, we've got another Wednesday night in historic downtown Nevada City. That's happening tonight from 6 to 9:30 p.m. So if you want to get out there and enjoy, oh my gosh, which is going to be absolutely gorgeous weather out there tonight. It's free. It's for all ages. It is downtown Nevada City. During Hot Summer Nights, Nevada City's landmark historic district is closed to vehicles and filled with art, food, beverages, classic cars, music, and entertainment. You will find dozens of vendors, 5 stages of entertainment, kids' activities, including bounce houses and face painting, and a whole lot more. So yeah, if you want to get out there this evening, Wednesday, July 23rd, historic downtown Nevada City, go out there and check all the fun that's happening. It only costs $20 a person. No, I'm kidding. It's free. It's pretty nice on the old pocketbook there, Producer Shane, right? You have a nice free event there. Go out, take the kiddos out there, the grand kiddos out there. Again, it's going to be tonight from 6 to 9:30 p.m. historic downtown Nevada City there, where they're going to close off the streets to the cars and have vendors of 5 vendors or dozens of vendors, 5 stages of entertainment, kids' activities, including bounce houses, face painting, and a whole lot more. Get out there and enjoy it. It's going to be a beautiful evening out there for, again, hot summer nights. Really not so hot, though, which is quite... How about a mildly cool summer night tonight in Nevada City from 6 to 9:30 p.m. We'll be back with more right after this.
Catch Sinatra and Friends, Saturdays and Sundays, right here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:18 a.m. Coming up in our next segment at the bottom of the hour, Sports Ball. We'll see how the Giants did yesterday, and if the A's played yesterday, we'll check in on them. Let you know when the Giants are playing again today. Spoiler alert, it's this morning. It's going to be an early game today, so we've got the Giants on early today. Later next hour, we'll have your daily dad jokes, and in the 8 o'clock hour, Scott Wofford is going to be back here again talking about defensible space fire safety. We still need to keep that front of mind. We'll be talking to him, find out more pro tips on this ice cream vanilla day. Oh, all right. Loving that. Back now to JT in the morning. I'll see you back here at the bottom of the hour.
for people to realize. I don't think it's as hard as people think, and thus the return of Trump in 2024 is that when people started realizing, and that's why I was chronicling how far back so much of this goes to the discovery of the Department of Homeland Security documents declaring you and me and veterans as the greatest threat to Homeland Security. Martin Luther King was being surveilled in the 60s because he was speaking out against racial discrimination laws. These are things that an authoritarian regime does, and whether or not the King family likes what he was doing while they were surveilling him, the bigger point is that they were surveilling him because he was questioning the government. And so it's not just Barack Obama, it's J. Edgar Hoover, it's LBJ, it's all of these people have been part of it, and that's why it was such a concerted effort to make sure that they did Trump in before he outed all of their complicity in this. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I mean it's almost like their world seems like a cartoon to us, because like, are people really believing, men can be women and women can be men, and it's okay to teach pornography and perversion to kids, and say, hey, capitalism is bad, but and God, Jesus Christ is bad. I mean, it's just amazing. Or now all of a sudden they're worried about. I mean, I care about human beings regardless if they're illegal aliens or not. But to just throw out the American citizen like we're in a trash bin, but to support criminals that are raping and killing people. And look at the officer that just the off-duty. I guess he was ICE or
border officer, and shot in the face. It sounds like he's going to be okay.
He may not be able to speak.
Right, no, okay is a relative term after you've been shot in the face, Joel. And you bring up the illegals at the border. I've got a clip here I want to play, but you have a great morning, sir.
Thank you, too. Thanks, Joe.
Please talk about, the doors of the inn being closed. No room in the inn. I'm saying, I need more people in my district, but just for redistricting purposes.
Really? So that's Congresswoman Yvette Clarke of New York saying that she needs these illegals in her district so that she can have a stronger redistricting. Funny how we said that 8 years ago about the open border. You distinctly remember, that this was. No, Joe, that was a conspiracy. You conspiracy analysts, you're just seeing conspiracies wherever because it makes you money. Oh yeah, now we're conspiracy profiteers. And it is crazy, but it's not. It's not crazy when you realize why they're doing it, what they're trying to manipulate, which is as simple as it ever has been. And it goes back to climate change as well. It's about, as my friend Chris Horner calls it, the world's second oldest profession, rent seeking. I'm going to support you for Congress, and then you're going to make sure that my company gets a little sniff when it comes time. The grift, because you have to give them money, and we'll fix that in a moment, because there is a fix. It just takes us being able to look past some of the things that we've just grown accustomed to, regardless of which side you're on. But our friends at jcsgold.com supporting our efforts each morning, and yours, really, towards financial security as you grow old. James Luck is on the phone with us, fourth generation of Luck family members. Good morning, James. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Joe. How are you?
Oh, it's a busy Tedsday out at the county fair last night. I know, it's fun and the fireworks and all the kids. And you know what? Apropos of nothing, but it's neat seeing as many young people as I saw at our county fair last night. Even, yeah, sure, they have their smartphones, but a lot of them are using their smartphones to record viral video of their friends on the Tilt-A-Whirl or, out in front of some Shark Tank or something like that. So maybe technology isn't going to be the end of the county fair. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a really good point. People use their phones for everything these days. Sure. And, great way you can use your phone is going to jcsgold.com, because our website is optimized for any phone or tablet or device that you can access the web on, and then you can check live gold and silver prices right after you take that selfie at the county fair.
I'm telling you, winner of this Wednesday morning's Not Enough O's in Smooth Award goes to James Luck for segueing right into that one. That was beautiful, by the way. It brought a tear to my eye. How are gold and silver doing this morning?
I think I'm just excited because silver is really shining today. It is well above $39 at $39.40 at the moment, which is up about a quarter. So that's great to see with silver. Silver's all-time high is $50. It hit that back in the late 1980s, and it hit it in 2011. So we will see if 2025 is another year that silver can hit 50 and hopefully this time break through.
Well, and right now, I mean, it seems like a fait accompli the way it's going, that we'll be at 40 before the weekend's over. So get on it, doggone it. And silver doing well also? I mean, gold doing well also? Or is that kind of in a malaise?
Gold had a strong day yesterday. It ended up going up around $36 yesterday. It's leveled off now at $3,422. Still very close to all-time highs for gold as well.
And this family business that has been doing this for, 60 years now, since 1961, James, and bless you and your whole family. Call them. Don't just believe me. Talk to the actual Luck family members at 434-979-COIN, or if you just want to, because it's that time and you're thinking about it, go to jcsgold.com and say hi for me. James knows where I am, but just let him know that, maybe you come out of the listening audience to JCS Gold. You have a great morning, James.
Thanks, Joe. You too.
So it was a point I was making about the second oldest profession, the world's second oldest profession, rent seeking. The rent comes from the 16th Amendment, the guarantee that the U.S. government can take your property from you without even giving you probable cause, never mind just compensation. And just writing the 16th Amendment doesn't make it right, but it's an amendment to the Constitution. It needs to go. If you want to fix the statecraft, we need to put the constitutional boundaries back onto the government, including the boundaries around the pocketbook. Because right now they just collect, they get it from you before you do anything with it. And sometimes they'll say, oh, but we'll give some of it to you back.
Did you know that healthy arteries make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open by relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss. Energy can go down and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to TotalWellness.com. That's TotalWellness.com, where we are helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
In today's troubled world, our USA Armed Forces stand ready to protect you, your family, and our American way of life. When veterans return to civilian life, they deserve your recognition and support. You can help put vets to work by donating your car, truck, or van to Patriotic Hearts. Your donation will directly support programs to help vets find jobs or even start their own business. Donate today for fast, free pickup of your vehicle, running or not. Operators are standing by to answer questions about making a tax-deductible vehicle donation. Find out how you can make a difference in the life of a United States veteran. Call 800-209-4580 for 24-hour response. Call 800-209-4580. 800-209-4580. That's 800-209-4580.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is July 23rd. It is 30 minutes past the top of the hour. And hey, good morning to you, Newcastle. Currently 57 degrees right now, looking for a high today. Very nice, 84 degrees out there. All right, there's the sports ball music. Let's get right into it. We are starting in the MLB. On the grass, the dirt, the chalk, the fence, the scoreboards, all that good stuff. Giants versus the Braves yesterday, Game 2 in Atlanta. Giants, after losing Game 1, came back big time, and one of those highlights was Wilmer Flores going yard with a 3-run home run. Here's what it sounded like from the stadium.
Skies that one down the left field line toward the foul pole, and it is gone. A home run straight down the left field line to really open this game up. His 12th of the year. It's 9-0 Giants.
9-0 Giants, and that's how it would stay till the end of the game there. Giants win that one 9-0 over the Braves, coming back big time there with the W. Giants will finish out that 3-game series today. That game is going to be at 9:15 a.m. this morning. So yeah, shortly after this show ends, Giants will be here on KAHI at 9:15 a.m. this morning to wrap up that 3-game series with the Atlanta Braves. Other scores around the MLB yesterday: Athletics versus the Rangers. Rangers win that one 6-2. Rockies versus the Cardinals. Rockies on top there 8-4. Dodgers versus the Twins. Twins on top there. Wow, that was a high-scoring game. Twins win that one 10-7. We have the Angels versus the Mets. Mets win that one 3-2. And Padres versus the Marlins. Marlins on top there 4-3. Going locally here, I've got the Auburn Journal in my hot little hands. Roseville again will host USA Softball Western Nationals. Clutch hits, defensive gems, and must-win games will highlight the USA Softball Western B National Championship 10 and under girls tournament in Roseville, bringing about 2,500 athletes, coaches, and fans to the area. The tournament will run from July 22nd through July 27th and includes nearly 40 teams, many from the Sacramento region. The first games start at 9 a.m. today, Wednesday, at Maidu Regional Park and Mahaney Park, and continue into the evening. The championship games will be held on Sunday, July 27th at Maidu. The tournament will feature around 500 players ages 9 to 11. Teams are comprised of all-star players and our select teams, where girls try out for squads and practice and play together for several months. So happening in Roseville this week, very exciting. We'll be back with your KAHI weather right after this.
Save at Sunrise Natural Foods. Right now, enjoy 25% off all Dr. Mercola products. That's big savings on everything from joint and bone health to brain and memory support, digestive health, heart health, and more. And remember, those 55 and better save 15% every Wednesday. And Wednesdays are now also demo days. Check out and sample new products to stay up to date on the latest health trends in Auburn and Roseville, or online at sunrisenaturalfoods.net. Sunrise Natural Foods, made with life's best ingredients.
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies today. Warm temperatures in the low 80s. A southwest wind about 6 to 12 miles per hour. Light winds tonight, mostly clear skies in the mid to upper 50s. You'll be in the low 80s again on Thursday. Mostly sunny skies expected and light southwest winds. Friday's going to be mostly sunny, right around 82 degrees. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 33 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to have your KAHI news, more events for the calendar. Make sure we're staying up to date on all of the things, plus your California Ag Report. Yeah, we do that in the 6 o'clock hour. Lots more coming up next hour, Daily Dad Jokes, and in the 8 o'clock hour, Scott Wofford is going to be here talking to us more about defensible space. Even though it's cooler outside, we cannot forget to make sure that we are making sure we're taking care of our defensible space. Off now to JT in the Morning. See you back here in just a little bit.
So when the issue, and we bring this up, the 16th Amendment, you've heard me talk about it before, but it's more than just that. It's the attitude that you are here to serve the government. And none of it really was foisted on the American people with any premise. It was so much easier in 1913 to write a few columns for Cosmopolitan magazine and get enough people to say, yeah, I think we should have, popularly elected senators still serving 6-year terms. And understand, there's a whole bunch of stuff that was supposed to work together like a Jenga set. So the reason senators have 6-year terms was not because they had to, stand for re-election less frequently. They weren't standing for re-election at all. They were given 6-year terms so that their representation of your state would go longer than any gubernatorial term. So the governor appoints Joe Thomas to be the senator from Virginia. And the General Assembly, and this is where the con job came in. So the con job, the Mark Zuckerberg of the 20th century, William Randolph Hearst, at the behest of Woodrow, out pitching a narrative that you were not being represented by the Senate. And by 1913, the story was catching on. Well, you vote for your congressman, why don't you vote for your senators? And a lot of it was driven out of a place that, I hate to say it because we have so many great affiliates in Oregon and Utah and Nevada, California. I don't think Washington yet, but we're working on Idaho, Alaska even. But so many of the corrosive things that came into the American government in the early 20th century were born out of the expansion west. The idea of gun control. Gun control was not born in New York City or Boston or Philadelphia. It was born in small towns in the West where the sheriff would make everyone turn in their guns when they came into town. Because if you had guns, you might challenge the sheriff's authority. And so a lot of what was coming back east was being driven by this most predominant Westerner, William Randolph Hearst out of California, was telling people that you are not, we vote for our senators out here. Well, the bait and switch was you voted for your senators in the East as well, by way of the General Assembly members that you voted for that had to approve the appointment of a senator by the governor. But that's why they have 6-year terms, so that they would be in office longer than the governor who appointed them, to create overlap and checks and balances and curtail this my party versus your party stuff. There were reasons that, and then their job was to go back to the states and say, here's what our portion of the U.S. government is going to cost, and here are the documents that say what we need the money for, all the appropriations bills, and here is, and then they would give testimony to their state General Assembly as to why that much. And if they couldn't get, say, West Virginia or Kentucky or Georgia said, I can't afford that, their senator's job would then be to go back and vote against the appropriations bills because his state couldn't pick up their tab for it. And senators would have to work in coalitions and say, well, So then they take away the state's contribution and they take your property without your permission, simply because they wrote an amendment to the Constitution. We had an amendment to the Constitution that said you couldn't have alcohol. We got rid of that one. We can get rid of the 16th Amendment that says the federal government can take your property away from you without due process of law or just compensation. Now, do you want to make the case that living in America is just compensation for the money we confiscate from you? $3 trillion a month? Generated in your taxation and mine? That all begins to create this state that demands the state craft that manifests itself in Barack Obama, according to the documents, and the more documents on the way today, engineering a way to, at first, tar and feather candidate Trump with this idea that he's just a Russian puppet. Even though Barack Obama himself said that Russia was, 1984's foreign policy in his debate with Mitt Romney. Oh, the 1980s are on the phone. They want their foreign policy back. Interesting that by 2016, Russia's this existential threat that's trying to manipulate the American president. Just how'd that happen? That was a busy few years in Moscow, wasn't it? So the state, in order to have the need for this kind of state craft, first you have to have this kind of state. And that's why I say, we start by fixing back to what Madison wanted us to be like in the first place. Because once we are there, then the statecraft and all this stuff becomes irrelevant, because corrupting a government official is not that big a deal. What are they going to do? They have no authority over anything. They can't move that kind of money. They can't heave the economy one way or the other to benefit some shadowy figure in the background. So then the power comes back to the people. That's all I'm pointing out in this. And I know it's an abstract, and you want to, think about what is and isn't in these documents, that Barack Obama was orchestrating this kind of activity. But along with these documents comes the Martin Luther King documents. And this email from Janice writes, Joe, they were surveilling Dr. King because of his Communist Party activities. And we are back here at McCarthy. We thought that McCarthy and his congressional hearings into communism had gone away. So the FBI is surveilling Martin Luther King Jr. because they think he's communist, or they think he's uppity and going to try to challenge all of these Jim Crow laws and the state.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Now, don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians, only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme, the solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is July 23rd, and it is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:45 a.m. Hey, good morning to you, Shingle Springs. Currently 54 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 82 degrees. All right, let's talk about another event for the calendar. Yep, mark your calendars for Friday, August 15th, 5 p.m. Where? I'll tell you where. Recreation Park. And what the heck is happening? Well, I'll tell you what the heck is happening. It is the Food Truck Fiesta. Again, it's going to be on Friday, August 15th at 5 p.m. Recreation Park. It's going to be live music, local craft beer and wine, craft vendors, amazing food trucks, and a whole lot more. You're going to want to check this out. Absolutely free to get there and be there. You got to pay money for the food at the food trucks, but you're going to want to because there's some really great food trucks that are going to be there. Some of those include Outlaw Cuisine, Maria's Mexican Tacos. Of course, you got to have Maria's food truck out there. That's a staple around here. Dub's Lunchbox, Old Town Pizza. Ooh, OTP is going to be there? Fantastic. Cousins Maine Lobster, Bangin' Churro Bar, Flores Munchies, Bangin' Bowls, Drewski's. Oh, I hear they make some great grilled cheese. Vegan Circus, Filipino Food Truck, and Poppy's Snow Biz. Those are some of the food trucks that are going to be out there, so check it out. It's going to be a great time. A beer is being provided by Auburn Ale House. The event is a fundraiser for the Auburn Bike Park. Your purchase at the Food Truck Fiesta will go towards supporting this great facility, the Auburn Bike Park here in Auburn. All the fun starts at 5 p.m. Includes all of those food trucks there, live music, local craft beer and wine, vendors, and more. Last year, over 1,000 people turned out for this fun and tasty event. This year, there's going to be even more food trucks and more beer, so make sure you've got it on the calendar here. Friday, August 15th, 5 p.m. at Recreation Park. That's at 123 Recreation Drive here in Auburn. Free show while you're there as well. Food Truck Fiesta, Friday, August 15th at 5 p.m. We'll be back with your KAHI News right after this.
Hi, this is Dr. Dahlia, and I'm thrilled to announce that I've joined the KAHI radio team. Each weekday morning from 9 to noon, I'm live on KAHI. We tackle issues like cholesterol, diabetes, women's health, children, geriatrics, relationships, and more. And with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies impacting your health. The Dr. Dahlia Show is also a live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions on the air. Join me, Dr. Dahlia, Monday through Friday from 9 to noon here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
And here's your KAHI News for Wednesday, July 23rd. I'm Chris Quant. Father and son find human remains along Northern California dirt road. This is from the Sacramento Bee. Authorities launched a death investigation after a father and his son found human remains Monday afternoon along the side of a Northern California dirt road. The father and son were on Banner Quaker Hill Road near Nevada City when they spotted the human remains where the paved road turns into a firefighter access dirt road, the Nevada County Sheriff's Office announced Tuesday afternoon in a news release. Sheriff's officials said the father and son immediately called 911 to report their discovery. Sheriff's deputies and detectives arrived at the scene and confirmed the human remains had been found. Authorities had not positively identified the human remains or determined a cause of death due to the level of decomposition, according to the sheriff's office. The human remains were taken to the Placer County Coroner's Office, where an autopsy is scheduled for July 29th. Sheriff's officials said they will provide an update on the investigation after the person's family has been notified. The sheriff's office did not provide any additional details to protect the integrity of the investigation. Esparto Farm files lawsuit against devastating pyrotechnics. This is from Fox 40 News. A farm in Esparto filed a lawsuit against the owners and operators of the fireworks facility that exploded in early July, leaving 7 people dead. The lawsuit claims that the fire damaged the wheat and canario bean crops, as well as valuable infrastructure and farming equipment, all owned by the plaintiff. Additional allegations also claim that the defendants failed to comply with basic safety standards, conducting reckless operations and putting the facility at risk for a, quote, catastrophic explosion and fire, unquote, said the plaintiff's attorney. The defendants include Sam Machado, a lieutenant with the Yolo County Sheriff's Department who owned the property the facility was on, Craig Cutright, Kenneth Chi, Black Star Fireworks, Devastating Pyrotechnics LLC, Devastating Pyrotechnics Inc., and more. According to the lawsuit, the plaintiff is looking for recovery of economic damages related to the destruction of crops, farming infrastructure, and equipment. The farm is also aiming for, quote, punitive and exemplary damages to punish the defendant's conduct and deter similar conduct in the future, unquote. Back with more news after this.
Right arm, right leg.
Left leg, left arm.
Both legs above the knee.
Both legs, part of my left hand.
Lost both my legs in Iraq.
These 9/11 veterans are just a few of the heroes we serve at Homes for Our Troops. For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes with features like wheelchair access, roll-in showers, and pull-down cabinets that allow them to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans, thanks to our donors and supporters. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
All right, I got a message for you. Radio is the way to go if you want to advertise. Targeting your customers, any shape or size. Radio is a perfect way to tell them who and where you are. They listen at work, they listen at home, and you got them in that car. You got to go with radio when you want to advertise. Here we go, watch me now. Hard rock and soft rock and easy listening too. Up and down the dialer formats just for you. Country, classic, talk, and gospel stations. Every market across the land has got a station for your situation. The cost is low, and radio is theater of the mind. You can present your information with imagination. If you want to get your message across the airways with radio. Call them, they will come right over. Remember, you got to go with radio when you want to advertise. There are lots of stations just your size.
Continuing now with your KAHI News from the Morning Brew, Johnson shut down the House early to avoid an Epstein vote. The U.S. House of Representatives will start its summer break early today after Speaker Mike Johnson cut this week's business short to prevent a vote to release files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Johnson, a Republican, accused Democrats of playing, quote, political games, unquote, by trying to vote to force the DOJ to release information related to Epstein. Some GOP lawmakers have joined Democrats in seeking to make the information public, which President Trump campaigned on doing, but has since disregarded. Trump is now suing the Wall Street Journal after the paper published a story about the president's links to Epstein, who died by suicide in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. The House will now be in recess until September. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Kellanova, the maker of Pop-Tarts, Pringles, and Eggo waffles, will remove artificial dyes from its food by 2028, the company said. Target is scaling back its popular price match perk to include only other Target stores or its website, as opposed to Amazon and Walmart. The Trump administration again pulled the U.S. out of the UN cultural agency UNESCO 2 years after President Biden rejoined the group following a 5-year absence that started during Trump's first term. The LA Times will go public, its billionaire owner Patrick Soon-Shiong said in an appearance on The Daily Show this week. And Coca-Cola plans to launch a version of its flagship soda that is made with cane sugar rather than corn syrup, following President Trump's push. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is bereft, meaning deprived of or lacking. Bereft. And that's your KAHI News for this Wednesday, July 23rd. I'm Chris Quant. On now to the California Ag Report.
It's time for California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network. I am Haley Shipp. President Donald Trump has now nominated Dr. Julie Callahan to serve as Chief Agricultural Negotiator for the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. It's a role that helps to shape international trade deals for U.S. farmers and ranchers. Dr. Callahan is no stranger to the job. She is currently the Assistant U.S. Trade Representative for Agricultural Affairs and Commodity Policy and has held prior roles with the FDA, USDA's Foreign Ag Service, and even the American Chemical Society. Several ag groups weighed in on the nomination. The California Fresh Fruit Association says Callahan has worked to reduce tariffs and other trade barriers, and that they look forward to working with her on behalf of the state's fruit industry. The U.S. Dairy Export Council, National Milk Producers Federation, and Consortium for Common Food Names also voiced support, pointing to her experience with expanding export opportunities and tackling issues like the use of common food names in international markets. Dr. Callahan's nomination now heads to the Senate, where she awaits confirmation. Attention all growers, have your packouts been reduced due to damage caused by heat stress or sunburn? This is Cultiva. We are the manufacturer of Parka. Parka is a plant-based foliar product with a unique MOA that helps plants resist and recover from heat stress. Parka reduces heat stress and sunburn by reducing the development of oxidative compounds and stressed crops. It allows the plant to continue photosynthetic activity, which ultimately means your crops continue to perform during times of excessive heat. As a result, plants treated with Parka are better equipped to sustain growth under environmental stress conditions to deliver high fruit quality and marketable yields. Unlike other products on the market, Parka is highly tank mix compatible and leaves no residue on fruit or equipment, making it easy to incorporate into spray programs. The heat is coming. Is your crop ready to handle the stress? Give us a call at 888-638-1955 or visit Cultiva.com. This is California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network. Find more agricultural news at aginfo.net.
How do planets affect our lives now and for our future? Let's find out what's in store on Pop Talk. Hi, Mary Jane Pop here. Do you believe in miracles? How do you define what a miracle is? Lots of questions, and we've got answers. Do you like avocados? Well, we're going to find out how amazing they are. And one of your favorite actresses tells an incredible story on Pop Talk. Saturday, 5 to 7 a.m., Sunday, 9 to 11 p.m., and 24/7 at KAHI.com. Pop Talk looks for life, truth.
Looking for style, savings, and something for everyone? Come to Auburn's department store, McCullough's. From fashion to furniture, beauty to bedding. Find it all under one roof with plenty of parking. And right now, save up to 50% store-wide during McCullough's summer kickoff sale. Family owned and operated. So save time, gas, and money by shopping McCullough's department store in the Auburn Town Center, right off of Elm. The voice of the foothills is now the voice of the San Francisco Giants.
Now Wilmer Flores, 10th time in his career that he's had multiple home runs in the same game. High fly ball to left, hit deep, and out of here. He's done it again. What a night for Wilmer Flores. He's knocked in all of the Giants' runs.
Catch every Giants game right here on KAHI AM and FM, brought to you in part by the Lincoln Potters baseball team.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning, Monday through Fridays, starting at 6 a.m. My goodness, that's still early. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and local events you can handle, plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes. Chris in the morning, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills. I never miss it, and neither should you. Now, where did I put that breakfast burrito?
30 seconds to the top of the hour. It is 6:59 a.m. Gang, that's 1 hour down. We've got a couple more to go. Lots more coming up. Daily Dad Jokes, and Scott Wofford's going to be here in the 8 o'clock hour. Pausing now for station ID. Back after this.
FM 104.5, K283CM, Auburn, and AM 950, KAHI, Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On KAHI, your day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two, with a dad joke fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real.
Hey!
Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee.
Oh, let's do an
don't
espresso
hit
today,
snooze.
Producer Adam.
It's Chris in the morning with your daily news.
Yo, big finish. And good Wednesday morning to you. It is July 23rd, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 7 a.m. here at FM 104.5 AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down. Beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, air-conditioned, all the adjectives. Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn. Looking outside at producer Shane. Come on, what kind of weather is this that we're having here?
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, that voice that you hear saying it's bizarre, that is producer Shane here in Studio A as well. Gorgeous, spacious Studio A. If you want to see what we fondly call the SOTD, the shirt of the day today, you can join us live on YouTube, youtube.com/@ the @ symbol KAHI-radio. Yeah, we've got the plumeria flower on today, a nice aquamarine color of it today. What's the actual color of that flower? Do you know?
Plumeria, they can vary.
Oh,
some
okay.
are white, some are
Okay.
yellow, kind of white and yellow.
Okay.
What I have at home.
Okay, got it.
And pinks. Yeah.
Okay, so it is varying colors.
It is
Okay,
very
so having a shirt, the Hawaiian or the tiki shirt that we have here, it can be different colors. So I don't think it's naturally this color though, is
No,
it?
that's what
Okay.
I'm aware of.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice shirt though. It's very cool. Looks great on you. Yeah, that blue is that's quite your color there actually. Not that I'm a fashion expert or anything. I actually have one of my coworkers. She did this thing where it's basically. Not like dressing your truth, but basically we all have a different color palette that we have. That basically there's, depending on who you are, there's different colors. Like, are you a fall shade or a summer shade or a winter shade, stuff like that. So she took the test. So now we're all asking her, like, Stephanie, what is this shade good? I don't know. Is this this black shade that I wear most of the time? Does that look good on me? So it's basically different, or it's interesting to see all the different colors, because just we all try different colors, and just some look better on others. I don't know why I said that, but anyway, it looks good on you there.
Thanks.
And the shirt that you're wearing today, and again, you can join us here live on YouTube if you want to. Hey, by the way, if today is your birthday, happy birthday to you, dear listener. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. If not, there is still a lot of the day to go, so hopefully it gets better for you. But yeah, if it's your birthday, come on, let's give you yours. It is your day, so happy birthday to you. If you were born today, you share a birthday with Pee Wee Reese, an American baseball player and sportscaster born on this day in 1918. Let's see, we've got Woody Harrelson, American actor. Yeah, you know who he is. Woody from Cheers, born on this day in 1961. Let's see, Slash, English-American guitarist and songwriter. Yeah, one of those metal. Is he Guns N' Roses? I think he was Guns N' Roses, isn't he?
I don't recall.
Yeah, I think we'd have to look that up. Anyway, 1965, Philip Seymour Hoffman, American actor, born on this day in 1967. Alison Krauss, American singer-songwriter and fiddler, born on this day in 1971. And Daniel Radcliffe, English actor, born on this day in 1989. And speaking of the rockers here, Ozzy Osbourne is in the news today. Actually, Ozzy Osbourne in the news because he died. He passed away, age 76. This is from the Morning Brew. The Black Sabbath frontman and heavy metal legend was with his family, surrounded by love, according to a statement from the Osbourne family. No cause of death was mentioned, though Osbourne has been dealing with a range of health issues, including Parkinson's disease. Osbourne died just weeks after he reunited with his original Black Sabbath bandmates for a farewell concert in England. Yeah, I just saw that. He was just doing a concert here just a couple of weeks ago. Following his career as a rocker, Osbourne became a reality TV star in the 2000s with the MTV series The Osbournes, which chronicled his chaotic life alongside his wife, Sharon, that he would always yell out, and their children, Jack and Kelly. Nicknamed the Prince of Darkness, Osbourne was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, once as a member of Black Sabbath and again as a solo artist. Shane, did you ever listen to any Ozzy Osbourne, any Black Sabbath?
Just in passing.
Okay.
Not very much.
Yeah, same here. I kind of like casual, like Crazy Train, like we all know. We all know this song. But yeah, I had a buddy of mine was crazy into Ozzy Osbourne. Just loved Ozzy Osbourne. And that was not music that my parents would have really ever let me listen to. Or even, I didn't even think about going to one of his concerts. A buddy of mine loved going to his concerts. They were huge Ozzy Osbourne fans. Had the black leather jackets, did all that, the Doc Martens and all that kind of like dark look there. Late 90s, early 2000s. But yeah, he was on the radar, but never anything that I really ever listened to other than probably whenever, or my buddy was listening to it, Crazy Train. But I gotta say, okay, he lived to, let's be honest, I think for Ozzy Osbourne, and no disrespect, and all due respect, 76, I think, is pretty respectable age.
For a rock star?
I think for a guy that I think lived the life that he lived,
sure.
Kind of hearing some of the antics, now you talk about, like, I've heard interviews with Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper has definitely toned down his act in the last couple of years. But you think of, like, Ozzy Osbourne, Keith Richards, who's the front man of Rolling Stones? Why can't I remember? Keith Richards,
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger. These guys that are still, I'm amazed. Now, obviously, there's a lot of rock stars from the 70s and whatnot that didn't make it, that did die very early on in life. But some of these guys, I'm amazed that either somehow the rock star lifestyle lends you to have a body that defies all odds, and I don't know, maybe with all that money you get the special health treatment as well, or it's part of it's just hype, and they actually like have all the hype, but then they just go and drink their green herbal teas and actually don't really live that. I mean, I know all of us in our 20s are a little bit more wild, but yeah, I'm Ozzy, good on you for making it to 76 years old. I actually saw a picture of him. Here's what he looked like in his 20s.
Oh.
Does that even look like the same person? I saw this online yesterday, a picture of 26-year-old Ozzy Osbourne in 1974. Long hair, has Ozzy tattooed across all of his knuckles there, so that's been there. But I don't know, kind of a dapper-looking fellow back in the day. But you can definitely see where the years of rock and roll has definitely worn on him. Sure. But Ozzy Osbourne, all due respect, died just the other day. Lived to a ripe old age for, at least in my opinion, a rock star of 76 years old, and did not know that he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice there. Once as a solo artist and once as a member of the band Black Sabbath. All right, we need to find out what our weather is looking like today. I don't know how to transition to that otherwise than just saying, hey, we're going to turn it over to meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies today, warm temperatures in the low 80s, a southwest wind about 6 to 12 miles per hour. Light winds tonight, mostly clear skies in the mid to upper 50s. It'll be in the low 80s again on Thursday, mostly sunny skies expected and light southwest winds. Friday's going to be mostly sunny, right around 82 degrees. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 9 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:09 a.m. When we come back, producer Shane, you know what happens almost every day. We got to do our mental exercises here, our trivia, based on lions. Yeah, it's I guess it's Leo now. It's what are we have the time of the year where the Leos? I don't know. I don't really follow the astrology signs there, but it basically the trivia is based on Leo. So, producer Shane and dear listener, let's get ready to do our mental exercises. We'll come to that right after the break. Back in just a moment.
This is Stephen Hill. Catch Hearts of Space, Sunday nights at 8, here on the all-new FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. The same voice of the foothills, more powerful than ever.
Check out the Garden Goddesses here on the Voice of the Foothills, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Erlene Freeman and Cindy Davis will bring you up to speed on all the latest news and help your garden grow.
Row by row, someone bless.
It's the Garden Goddesses, Saturdays at 8 a.m. here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com. 10 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:10 a.m. All right, before we went to the break there, we were talking about doing a little bit of trivia. Yeah, we love to do some trivia in the morning, just get our brains awake, up and exercise and running here. All right, these are based on, I guess, Leo. It's that time of the year. If you were born this time of year, you're a Leo. So the lion. So producer Shane, are you ready to be the proxy for our dear listeners here?
Sure.
As always. Not that you have a lot of choice here. I just turn the microphone on and tell you these. All right, okay, here we go. This one was hard. I did not do very well on these, so hopefully you can do a little bit better than me here. But first question is, don't answer it right away. Think about it. What is the name of Simba's mom in The Lion King? Simba's mom. Nalia was his girlfriend. I remember that. / future. Do lions get married? Bride? Anyway. Partner? Mate? Okay, which Ivy League schools' sports teams have the nickname Lions? It's one school, but their teams are the nickname the Lions. I didn't know that one either. Okay, here we go. Which actor voices Alex the lion in Madagascar? Okay. I'll give you a hint on that one. Is that coming to mind at all?
A little bit.
Okay,
It's
a little
been
bit.
while
Okay.
since I've seen it.
All right. If you need a hint, I'll give you a hint on that one. Leo the Lion. This is question number 4. Leo the Lion is the mascot for MGM Studios. What 3 names comprise MGM? Okay. That one I did not get as well, although I should have known that one. And most wild lions live in sub-Saharan Africa, but there's also a small population in one other country. Can you name the country? I thought Bangladesh, and that is not the right country, by the way. A small population, but it's a very big country. Let's just say that. It's got some of the world's largest populations there. All right, going back to question number 1, what is the name of Simba's mom in The Lion King? Any guesses there?
No idea. I've actually never seen it.
You've never seen The Lion King?
I know.
What?
Uh-huh.
Hold on. Okay. Stop the music. Hang on a second. You have never seen The Lion King?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen other Disney classics like...
Oh, of course.
The Little Mermaid
Yes.
and The Beauty and the Beast?
Yes.
Okay. How did The Lion King get skipped?
I don't really know.
Blockbuster.
I know. When I was a kid, it just didn't come up on my...
Really?
Nobody
Those were
had
the
it?
only movies that my mom would really take us to watch in the
Sure.
in the theaters, was the Disney movies. Didn't see The Lion King. Elton John, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh, I know the music, but
Holy
and actually
bananas.
a friend of mine from is married to the guy who plays Mustafa on the Broadway show.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh my gosh! Wow.
So
okay.
At this point in life, I might see it on tape when my daughter's old enough to care. Or I'll go to New York and maybe see the Broadway show. I'll probably see that.
I was going to say, well, yeah, go see the Broadway show. Let me know how it goes. I've not seen that. I would love to see The Lion King. Sarabi is her name. I did not know that. Okay, Sarabi. Okay, question number 2. Wow, that's my brain just shorted out there for a minute. Holy cow. And you knew that was going to throw me off too. All right, number 2. Which Ivy League schools' sports teams have the nickname the Lions? I wouldn't have known this one. That is Columbia University. Okay, now we know. Which actor voices Alex the Lion in the movie Madagascar? I know Chris Rock does the zebra, and the guy who plays King Leo or whatever, absolutely cracks me up. I can't remember his name. I'll give you a hint. This is one of his quotes from one of his movies. What is this, a school for ants?
Yeah, it's a comedian. What's his name?
Yeah, he's also known as Zoolander. He was in Dodgeball, main character in Dodgeball there, producer of the TV show Severance now. Ben Stiller was the voice of the...
Right, he was.
Ben Stiller.
I was thinking of the tiger. That's the other comedian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Ben Stiller was the voice of there. Leo the Lion is the mascot for MGM Studios, the 3 names that comprise MGM.
Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer.
Yep, you got it. And finally, while most wild lions live in sub-Saharan Africa, there's a small population in another country. Can you name that country?
China?
Yeah, I thought so too. India.
Oh, that's my first guess. When I came up.
Yeah.
Darn it.
There we go. And okay, there is our trivia. So Sarabi, Columbia University, Ben Stiller, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and India are our answers to our trivia today.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about Madagascar. I was thinking about Ice Age. That threw me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was okay. I know exactly who you're talking about there. Yeah. Golly, what's his name? We'll have to look up his name. But anyway, there we go. There's our trivia for today. Hey, it is 16 minutes past the top of the hour. Time for us now to turn it over, as we do, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Trade agreements for Japan, Indonesia, and the Philippines are raising optimism on Wall Street. AT&T expects to save $6.5 to $8 billion in taxes in coming years because of the new tax and spending bill. It will invest $3.5 billion in its fiber cable build-out and $1.5 billion into its pension fund. The company's earnings were better than forecast. It gained wireless and internet subscribers in the spring quarter. Energy giant GE Vernova is reporting an upbeat quarter, helped by demand in its power and electrification units. Toy maker Hasbro is raising its forecast for the year because of demand for its Wizards of the Coast video game business. And Krispy Kreme shares are up more than 30%. It's one of the companies targeted by meme stock traders. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
Here's one of our local advertisers to tell you why he loves KAHI Radio.
I'm Fred Penny, managing partner of Penny & Associates, injury lawyers. Our law offices are located throughout California, and we have the opportunity to advertise across the state. We chose to advertise with KAHI. Among our other locations, we see the advantage of reaching those who matter most, the local customers, through local radio on KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
17 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:17 a.m. Let's talk about another event for the calendar. This is Summer Harvest Days. This is happening July 26th and the 27th, and also August 2nd and 3rd. The bounty of summer is on full display at participating Apple Hill growers, featuring stone fruit and berries, baked goods, wine tasting, and a whole lot more. The event is free to attend, though some growers recommend making reservations. So yeah, Apple Hill, not just for the fall. There is the Summer Harvest Days going on up and around Apple Hill. That's going to be July 26th and 27th, so coming up here this weekend, and August 2nd and August 3rd. The bounty of summer, again, on full display at participating Apple Hill growers. The event is free to attend, although some growers recommend making reservations because, you know, it gets really popular up there. You can find out more at visit-eldorado.com/events there. And again, it is the the Summer Harvest Days up there in Apple Hill. So yeah, not just for the fall anymore. Lots going on. There's going to be berries, hard ciders, stone fruit, and a whole lot more. All right, it is 18 minutes past the top of the hour. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to have your daily dad jokes. You can send yours in now, live at KAHI.com, or call me 530-885-3565. Coming up next hour, Scott Wofford's going to be here. We're going to be talking about defensible space. Yeah, even though it's cooler outside, we still need to keep that front of mind as we are in fire season. We're going to head off now to JT in the morning. We'll see you back here at the bottom of the hour.
Folks trying to determine whether this is where the MAGA base abandons Trump and things like that. And I think those have all been pretty big misunderstandings of how that hard candy coating around Donald Trump works. For instance, we saw that conversation happen around the pro-life movement, that Donald Trump was abandoning pro-life principles and that maybe this would break up the MAGA movement. But that hard candy coating, the people who really go out there day to day to defend whatever Donald Trump says, they're not policy people. They're not pro-life. They actually aren't even that big on immigration. They're really big on this stuff, though. JFK, Epstein, the moon landing, chemtrails. So this actually does have a real potential to influence whether Donald Trump has that protection between him and his base.
Sarah Isker from this past weekend, trying to mansplain the Tea Party, the first Tea Party president, when they thought they had put out the Tea Party. Again, the American people rising up. And part of this is this idea that populism is by and of itself bad. Not to, again, in the weeds or anything. But what we're seeing this morning and yesterday morning is all of this stuff that folks like Sarah Isker dismiss as conspiracy theories come to life. Florida, Andy, our buddy in Florida, the state has banned chemtrails. How do you ban something that doesn't exist, Sarah? Huh? How do you ban Marjorie Taylor Greene out of our Dalton area? Bill in the U.S. House, if they ever come back to work, banning chemical manipulation of the weather. And there's specifics in it saying you can't do this. There are things we're doing. You're waking up this morning, every morning, being gaslit by the idea that, you're still buying those conspiracy theories? Martin Luther King Jr., 230,000 documents showing his surveillance and what the intelligence community was watching over him. Why? Because he held some political beliefs. He also believed that Jim Crow laws were unconstitutional and un-American. Do you disagree with them? Was he connected to people? And we've had this conversation before about Martin Luther King Jr. and the Communist Party. But again, we were doing the Communist Party the greatest favor in the world by making them this dire, dark secret rather than dragging communism out into the light and saying, look at the horrors that it is. By treating communism like porn, political porn, it just made more people want to go see it. We're not allowed to talk about it. It must be kind of hot. We drove people to communism by treating it like political porn. And it wasn't, certainly it's horrific and it's horrible and it's dehumanizing and it kills people simply for disagreeing. But these are things that you and I can drag out into the sunlight and show everyone the horrors of communism for what it is. We don't need to be surveilled by the government to see if we're a communist sympathizer. Just listen to 15 minutes of this program and you'll know we're not communist sympathizers. So they surveil Martin Luther King Jr. for the political party he was a member of. Anyone on January 6th feel the same way? Anyone incarcerated after January 6th feel the same way? These aren't conspiracies. And they weren't when they were first questioned. They were questions. They were people asking questions. And questioning the government had become high crimes and misdemeanors. And it was everything that Jefferson ran against John Adams for. Again, I'm repeating myself. Joel texts in, what about Bernie Sanders? Well, we've evolved. Now we can speak about our political porn publicly. His addiction to Politburo porn is legend. But the revelations that are coming out are the revelations of a state that's afraid of its people, that is so tenuous in its grip on its manufactured reality that they're afraid that the black community would realize that after a few years of Jim Crow laws, nothing was getting better. As a matter of fact, it was just getting worse. Not Jim Crow laws, Great Society laws. They're so commonly mixed up with one another. Remember, Lyndon Johnson's political acumen had him believing that if they had passed all the Jim Crow laws, that the insert word here for the black community would vote for the Democratic Party for 200 years. It didn't last that long. Party ended a little soon for you. So that's where you wake up at this intersection of conspiracy and reality. And this was what made the Russia collusion so important, because you had to not believe your lying ears. This is why Tulsi Gabbard releasing documents is important. This is why grand jury testimony is important. This is why all of this out in the open is important. Can you deal with it? That's the bigger question. Can you deal with realizing how much had been done to you? I believe in the American people, but I believe that folks like Chuck Schumer and the folks who manipulate this stuff to keep their own power will be hard at work this morning coming up with plans. All right, so what do we do with this, and how do we take that? And it won't be just to dismiss Donald Trump as a kook. They're going to use these revelations against even figures like Martin Luther King Jr. How soon before his statue gets torn down like all those Civil War generals? Andy reminds us, texting in at 434-882-4217, you can conspire to do good, but generally doing good can be done out in the open. And I guess, truth to the idea of conspiring is that, yes, you can do conspiring in public.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to totalwellness.com. Supplements made for physicians, only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com. helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Would your car perform better with premium gas or regular? What do octane ratings mean? I'm Ron Ananian, the Car Doctor, your automotive prescription, right after this.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme. The solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret. Powered by science.
Today's modern vehicle, whether it's a car, SUV, or light truck, is designed with a specific fuel in mind. Read your owner's manual. What octane rating does the vehicle manufacturer call for? That's what you should use. But there are exceptions to the rule. Many high-end or luxury vehicles call for premium or higher octane fuel. And the reason for this is not just due to the octane rating. There are better fuel system cleaners in premium fuels. Gasoline companies know, too, that vehicles that run on premium won't perform as well with carbon deposits. So they pack more cleaning power into their premium fuels than their regular blend. If you rotate your fuel choices around, say, every third tank full, you may find better performance and miles per gallon because you are cleaning your engine and fuel system while you drive. Just don't tell your mechanic you're trying to replace them anytime soon. With your automotive prescription, I'm Ron Ananian, the Car Doctor. See you next time.
And good Wednesday morning to you. Apparently missed the signal there. It is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Lake of the Pines. Currently, it is 60 degrees where you're at, looking for a high today of 82 degrees. All right, a little bit behind our A game here, getting ready for our daily dad jokes. That's right, make you laugh, sigh, or roll your eyes. As always, you can send yours in live at KAHI.com or call 530-885-3565. We're going to start off with one here from, let's see, let's just find one that I found here. What did the coat say to the hanger? Producer Shane, what did the coat say to the hanger?
I don't know what it said to the hanger.
We should hang out sometime. Yeah, okay, that was started off kind of weak there.
Yeah.
How about this one? My sister and her husband just had a baby girl. When I met her, I knew just what to say. Nice to meet you. Okay, two weak ones. Let's see if you got any better ones over there, producer Shane.
Let's see if these work.
All right.
Why did July call in sick?
Why did July call in sick? I don't know why.
It caught a chill it wasn't expecting.
Oh. It's actually pretty appropriate for our weather right now. That's pretty good. Let's see. In celebration of Shark Week, Shark Week's happening this week. Grace sent this one in. A shark could swim faster than me, but I could probably run faster than a shark. So in a triathlon, it would come down to who's a better cyclist. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Got any other jokes there, producer Shane?
How cold was it yesterday?
I don't know. How cold was it yesterday?
I saw a snowman applying for a summer job.
Oh, there we go. Fantastic. And let's end with this one. Another shark pun for Shark Weeks. What did the shark say when he ate the clownfish? Oh, that's sad. He ate Nemo. What did the shark say when he ate the clownfish?
I don't know. What did he say?
This tastes a little funny. There we go. And there's your daily dad jokes for this Wednesday, July 23rd. Back with more right after this.
Come treat yourself to a fabulous new bedroom at Naturewood Home Furnishings' biggest bedroom sale of the year.
Design your very own perfect bedroom.
From simple to lavish to luxurious, choose the style, colors, and hardware that fit just for you. Save now on Sacramento's very best bedrooms and mattresses.
Over 60 on display.
This bedroom sale ends soon at Naturewood. You know, the building with the water wheel.
Tell them Brooklyn Nova and Orion sent you.
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies today. Warm temperatures in the low 80s. A southwest wind about 6 to 12 miles per hour. Light winds tonight, mostly clear skies in the mid to upper 50s. It'll be in the low 80s again on Thursday. Mostly sunny skies expected and light southwest winds. Friday's going to be mostly sunny, right around 82 degrees. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 33 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have more events for the calendar, your KAHI News. Also, Mental Health Minute. Next hour, Scott Wofford's going to be here. We're going to be talking about defensible space. Yeah, even though it's cool outside, we still need to remain vigilant, keeping up that defensible space. We'll be talking to Scott again here. Off now to JT in the morning. See you back here in just a little bit.
Yale University is where he is, and joining you coming out of your radio, two gentlemen who have never had our documents leaked, although there have been some spottings. Anyway, good morning, Mac. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I got other leaks that we're worried about.
So, well, the gaskets and the seals get old after a while.
Monitoring raccoons and that kind of thing. Thank you, Joe. Good morning. Well, of course, with the media days comes a lot of rhetoric, some insights, whatever. The ACC media days in Charlotte. The Jim Phillips message Tuesday, he is the commissioner, by the way, had a different tone from last year. The Clemson and Florida State lawsuits were settled in March, and the revenue distribution model had been edited and accepted, and the league now has a long-term deal with the four letters. So there could be a little peace in the 17-team ACC. Now, flashback. Clemson and Florida State were entangled in that crossfire over the conference's ability to charge hundreds of millions of dollars in exit fees for schools that were looking for greener pastures. There was the rumor, of course, that Clemson and Florida State were going to, go somewhere. So the football revenue take in the ACC 23-24, so it always goes back a year, was $45 million per school.
Wow.
And yes, it is third. The Big Ten, $63 million per school. The SEC at $52 million. But the ACC is third among the Power Fives. The grant of rights exit fees were also reduced. This was big. Now, if you want to leave in 2031, it's only $75 million instead of the nine-figure deal that used to be. All right. So when ESPN then made the decision last January to pick up the base rights option through 2036, it gave Phillips and his conference a boost in perception and footprint. For example, the ACC is in 4 of the 10 largest TV markets. Yes, thanks to SMU and thanks to Cal and Stanford. Okay, the ACC won 6 national titles. That's on the field. Jim Phillips, pretty proud of that. And over the past 4 years, he was bragging about 29 trophies. That's all good. But the minutia now from what is happening has got a couple of other rulings. But I want to get back to the commish because, as I said, the tone was different and he sounded like a proud papa.
Since we've had that take place in March, I've not felt stronger about this league than I have in the last 5 months.
Hey, Mac, I can't hear him.
Oh, I'm glad you said something. Let me double check.
I mean, we sort of heard him. He was muttering, and there was like Charlie Brown. It was womp, 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 womp.
Right, let me check. I thought I had everything here. Oh, I clicked the wrong way. My bad.
All right.
I see what
that
I
happens
did.
to me. Happens to me on Friday night a lot.
No, it's a click. Okay, no, it was a click. All right, let's back up because of Jim Phillips bragging about the ACC. Here we go.
Since we've had that take place in March, I've not felt stronger about this league than I have in the last 5 months. When you think about settling those lawsuits and being committed to one another, you talk about viewership and success on how to distribute dollars. You talk about coming back off of the most revenue we've ever distributed, 29 national championships, sport of football getting better, and we want to take another step this year. The league is situated nicely right now.
Yeah, so in other words, his message yesterday was very, very positive. Yeah, there were little details like now the ACC will fine schools for court storming. So, he's talking about exit fees and big-time TV dollars, but oh yeah, by the way, these are a couple of other things that were kind of like swept under the rug. And yes, Now, injury reports will be released by each school prior to games. Gee, I wonder why that is. The overload of gambling sites, betting apps, of course, have forced the ACC to follow suit with a lot of other conferences now that they will be issuing injury reports. So God knows we can win $10 on a 4-team ACC parlay. I mean, that's a big thing.
Well, no, hold it. Now, will Bill Belichick do that? He was famous for, we'll decide. That's a game day decision.
He won't say anything, but he'll let his SIDs, have to, follow suit. But that's the thing. You go now, but what they do is they walk into the football coach's office and they go, Coach, here's the report. What would you like for me to do? Okay, well, he's going to play. He could lie. He's just sitting there lying anyway. He's just checking boxes. It's like trying to take a psychology test and having somebody cover your what. So
what?
With everything
test are you taking?
With everything that probably got swept under the rug with all this talk about, who's playing quarterback, and Virginia's got 54 new people because Tony Elliott spoke yesterday. I'll talk more about that tomorrow. The newly formed College Sports Commission and the plaintiffs' lawyers in the House versus the NC2A settlement, they've reached an agreement that basically says, with all the reading, is saying that, yes, there will be a cap. It's called a soft cap. And yes, NIL Go, which is what it's called, which is now all the schools they will be monitoring very closely any nil deal that it goes over the $600 mark.
$600?
And so they're going to be very, very busy. However, the great thing about the clearinghouse now and CSC's initial, the College Sports Commission, not the clearinghouse, the College Sports Commission, they are reacting right away. They're being very, very swift in saying, yay, good, no.
Yeah.
Hey, Arch Manning, there was a video yesterday, and there was a video where Steve Sarkisian's telling Big 12 Media Days, well, look, we're not recruiting on money. We're not telling kids they're going to make this much and this much and this much. You know what they did? And they're like welcoming the new kids back to school. They got a car dealer to park Vets and Ferraris all over the stadium.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, they were all over. But we're not recruiting. We're not telling recruits that they're going to be able to drive a Porsche, but they just happen to be there at the field. Matthew McConaughey was probably in a Lincoln with that. Probably saying, "Welcome to Texas," whatever. Because he didn't say very much anyway. So, but at least for now, the College Sports Commission will have the ability to say, "All right, we're looking for more clarity here." The conferences and schools are saying, no, we wanted to manage our own collective. We wanted to be able to spend money and do whatever we wanted to do and nil transfer. But the College Sports Commission is going, And the NC2A sitting back there, they're smoking cigars, putting their feet on the desk going, whew. Thank goodness we got somebody else taking care of this crap, because that's the best way I can explain it. The College Sports Commission is going to be a bad Montana. That's a good thing, because there will be now somebody monitoring, if Arch Manning is doing a $2 million McDonald's commercial, there might be, we don't think that he ought, it's kind of like the Masters thing. We don't think Arch Manning ought to be representing a fast food restaurant for a total of $2 million. Well, all he does is take a bite out of a Big Mac. We feel, so that's where we are. I can't explain it any better than that.
It's still all going to end in tears. It's all going to end in a bailout. The universities are going to say, we need the taxpayers because we're preeminent public institutions or whatever. Because I still see the revenue drying up. I still see national sponsorships drying up. NASCAR is having the trouble with it.
Yeah, I think long term. I think, Joe, we're in a spot now where there's so much, and we can talk more about this tomorrow on Friday. But I think we're in a spot now that everything is so new. This automobile in my driveway is so new,
right,
and it's got so many toys, and then in a couple of years I'm going to go, I need to trade it in again anyway. So
you're not expecting this.
Everything is so new for how things are going to operate. I just think it's a landscape that, well, for example, it's just like the transfer portal, and they're trying to change the windows to get it, where football coach, they don't have three transfer portal windows. They basically only have one. And that's what they're trying to get to and trying to negotiate now. So everything is, I hear what you're saying. I know. And I agree that at some point, is there going to be a cap? But we said the same thing about Major League Baseball and salaries, and look what's happened there. So yeah.
Well, it's good stuff, Mac. I appreciate it as always. Good detail on it. I just This has been a conflagration that's gone faster than I ever expected it to.
But God knows, I know. God knows you celebrate a win, you're going to be fined.
Yeah, don't do that.
Storm the field.
We're cracking down on that stuff. Brought to you by the Lunch Pail Foundation. What's important now, really? It's getting kids scholarships.
Can you believe, with all the recent violent protests, looting, and destruction, some areas are considering either defunding or abolishing the police? At a time when America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most, some elected officials would rather create more chaos by playing politics. If you're sick of elected officials caving in to demands of the radical left, you're not alone. It's time we stand up and declare our support for local police. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom over chaos, then learn how you can help protect the local police that serve your community. Call today and request your free Support Your Local Police info packet. Dial 800-JBS-USA1. That's 800-JBS-USA1. Request your free Support Your Local Police info packet by calling 800-JBS-USA1 today.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is July 23rd, and it is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Forest Hill. Currently 63 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 79 degrees. All right, let's talk about another event for the calendar. Let's talk about Parks and Big Trucks. Yeah, Trucks and Family Swim. That is coming up this Saturday, July 26th. You can explore and touch every truck there. This is going to be at the Recreation Park 123 Recreation Drive here in Auburn. So yeah, this is brought to you by the Auburn Recreation District. Yeah, this was a big event last year. It's going to be a big event this year. Mark your calendars. Get ready for a day of free fun, laughter, swimming, and the vroom vroom of engines. It's the Parks and Big Trucks Day, where kids and big kids alike, adults, can explore and touch every truck imaginable. They're going to have fire trucks, police trucks, CAL FIRE helicopter. Well, not really a truck, but a helicopter. Come on, that's fun. Construction trucks, cement trucks, ambulances, garbage trucks, bulldozers, tow trucks, and my favorite, food trucks are going to be there as well. And as a added bonus, you can jump in the Sierra pool and cool down with the free family swim day that's happening that day as well. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to noon, so a little bit earlier in the day to take advantage of the cooler weather. Although if it's this weather, let's just keep this cool weather going right now if we can, all the way through the weekend. That would be fantastic. Again, it's going to be this Saturday, July 26th from 10 to noon at Recreation Park and the Sierra pool there, so you can go out and check out the trucks, get some food from the food trucks, and then jump in the pool at the Sierra pool. Again, that's going to be at Recreation Park. That's at 123 Recreation Drive here in Auburn. For more info, you can visit auburnrec.com. That's auburnrec.com. Back with your KAHI News right after this.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins.
What's in an icicle? Do you want to hear this?
Yeah,
I think you probably do.
When icicles form, it's from water that melts off of your roof and runs down the side of a building. Well, here's the thing. You know what else is on your roof? Bird poop. A lot of it. And that water picks it up and freezes it in the ice. You're eating poop.
Gosh.
Weekdays from 1 to 4 on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
And here's your KAHI News for this Wednesday, July 23rd. I'm Chris Quant. Father and son find human remains along Northern California dirt road. This is from the Sacramento Bee. Authorities launched a death investigation after a father and his son found human remains Monday afternoon along the side of a Northern California dirt road. The father and son were on Banner Quaker Hill Road near Nevada City when they spotted the human remains where the paved road turns into a firefighter access dirt road, the Nevada County Sheriff's Office announced Tuesday afternoon in a news release. Sheriff's officials said that the father and son immediately called 911 to report their discovery. Sheriff's deputies and detectives arrived at the scene and confirmed human remains had been found. Authorities had not positively identified the human remains or determined a cause of death due to the level of decomposition, according to the sheriff's office. The human remains were taken to the Placer County Coroner's Office, where an autopsy is scheduled for July 29th. Sheriff's officials said they will provide an update on the investigation after the person's family has been notified. The sheriff's office did not provide any additional details to protect the integrity of the investigation. Esparto Farm files lawsuit against devastating pyrotechnics. This is from Fox 40 News. A farm in Esparto filed a lawsuit against the owners and operators of the fireworks facility that exploded in early July, leaving 7 people dead. The lawsuit claims that the fire damaged the wheat and canario bean crops, as well as valuable infrastructure and farming equipment, all owned by the plaintiff. Additional allegations also claim that the defendants failed to comply with basic safety standards, conducting reckless operations and putting the facility at risk for a, quote, catastrophic explosion and fire, unquote, said the plaintiff's attorney. The defendants include Sam Machado, a lieutenant with the Yolo County Sheriff's Department, who owned the property the facility was on, Craig Cutright, Kenneth Chi, Black Star Fireworks, Devastating Pyrotechnics LLC, Devastating Pyrotechnics Inc., and more. According to the lawsuit, the plaintiff is looking for recovery of economic damages related to the destruction of crops, farming infrastructure, and equipment. The farm is also aiming for, quote, punitive and exemplary damages to punish the defendant's conduct and deter similar conduct in the future, unquote. Back with more news after this.
Save at Sunrise Natural Foods. Right now, enjoy 25% off all Dr. Mercola products. That's big savings on everything from joint and bone health to brain and memory support, digestive health, heart health, and more. And remember, those 55 and better save 15% every Wednesday. And Wednesdays are now also demo days. Check out and sample new products to stay up to date on the latest health trends in Auburn and Roseville or online at sunrisenaturalfoods.net. Sunrise Natural Foods, made with life's best ingredients.
Because KAHI cares. Here's another KAHI Community Bulletin Board.
Hey, you can join the Piers Auburn Center Walking Group. Placer Independent Resource Services emphasizes that walking helps seniors to limit sickness, boost endorphins, improve heart health, build bone mass, and improve balance. All this in just 30 minutes a day, and it's free. Meet at the Auburn Recreation Park at 9:30 a.m. on Wednesdays every week. The Senior Center Walking Group walks a beautiful, fully accessible path around Recreation Park at 123 Recreation Drive, right off of Auburn Folsom Road in Auburn. Please wear appropriate footwear. Hydration is always important, and understand that there are risks, both foreseeable and unpredictable, with any exercise, and that your consultation with your doctor is advised regarding whether you can safely participate in a walking club. Walks could be canceled due to bad weather, so call Colleen at Piers 530-885-6100 or 1-800-833-3453 to verify during inclement weather.
Hi, I'm Martha Barnett.
And I'm Grant Barrett.
We're hosts of A Way with Words, a weekly show about language.
We take your calls from anywhere in the country.
And from outside the country, too.
About anything and everything related to communication.
It's a show about speaking and writing and why we say the things we do.
It's also a show about history, family, and culture.
Satisfy your linguistic curiosity Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950, KAHI.
Continuing now with your KAHI News from the Morning Brew, Johnson shut down the House early to avoid an Epstein vote. The U.S. House of Representatives will start its summer break early today after Speaker Mike Johnson cut this week's business short to prevent a vote to release files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Johnson, a Republican, accused Democrats of playing, quote, political games, unquote, by trying to vote to force the DOJ to release information related to Epstein. Some GOP lawmakers have joined Democrats in seeking to make the information public, which President Trump campaigned on doing, but has since disregarded. Trump is now suing the Wall Street Journal after the paper published a story about the president's links to Epstein, who died by suicide in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. The House will now be in recess until September. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Kellanova, the maker of Pop-Tarts, Pringles, and Eggo waffles, will remove artificial dyes from its foods by 2028, the company said. Target is scaling back its popular price match perk to include only other Target stores or its website, as opposed to Amazon and Walmart. The Trump administration again pulled the U.S. out of the UN cultural agency UNESCO 2 years after President Biden rejoined the group following a 5-year absence that started during Trump's first term. The LA Times will go public, its billionaire owner Patrick Soon-Shiong said in an appearance on The Daily Show this week. And Coca-Cola plans to launch a version of its flagship soda that is made with cane sugar rather than corn syrup following President Trump's push. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is bereft, meaning deprived of or lacking. Bereft. And that's your KAHI News for this Wednesday, July 23rd. I'm Chris Quant. Back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Andrew Twidwell, owner of ABT Plumbing, Electric, Heat, and Air. ABT has been in business since 2001, and we are thrilled to have been voted Auburn's best plumbing company and best heating and cooling company in Auburn Journal's Best of Auburn promotion. We're very proud to have placed as runner-up in electrical category as well. Our technicians are experienced and friendly. If you have an issue with your plumbing, need a whole house generator, or maybe your furnace isn't working, give ABT a call. Reach us at 530-230-9004 for excellent service. It really is as easy as ABT.
I'm Frederick Penny, host of Radio Law Talk, the most exciting, entertaining, and sometimes informative radio show on earth. Listen to us live on KAHI, the voice of the foothills, every Saturday morning, 9 to noon, here on FM 104.5 and AM 950. You can also find us on KAHI.com and the KAHI app. Remember, that's Radio Law Talk, live 9 to noon every Saturday, right here on KAHI, AM and FM, the voice of the foothills.
Tune in to the KAHI Corral every Saturday at 7 a.m. here on the Voice of the Foothills.
I did a petting zoo on the top floor of a skyscraper.
No. Wait.
They had the windows open because it's an old building. They don't have any air conditioning.
I'm still creeped out because I think animals fell out the windows, but they didn't.
Well, Reno did. He was on the windowsill with his head out the window.
Did he come when you
Walked
called
over
him?
very slowly, grabbed him, and pulled him back in and closed the windows.
Listen in to Connie and the Gang, and you'll never know what you're gonna find. Everything from pets in the studio, oh yeah, that's a real thing, to the advice you've come to count on. So join Connie and a cast of thousands on the KAHI Corral Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. here on 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
And now, a mental health minute.
That's right, it's time for our mental health minute. Yeah, just a time to focus on ourselves just for a little bit. We're just going to be a little bit selfish. Focus on us right now. This is from the book I'm Awesome. Here's why. Some great tips in this book, and I think this is another great one. This is for us all, gang. I know I'm definitely guilty of this, and it's titled Put Down the Dang Phone. Well, I added dang there. It says put down the phone. When you're spending so much time on social media, you may find yourself comparing your life to the lives you see online. My wife was always really good about telling our kids this, It's like, hey, are you living your own life, or are you living somebody else's life just by watching them online? And I got to admit, I am guilty of that recently. I'm probably spending a little too much time on the phone here. So cutting back on your social media usage will help. But do you know exactly how much time you spend scrolling through media feeds and subconsciously comparing yourself each day? No, probably a lot. I know my phone gives me a recap of how much time I'm spending on my phone, and it breaks down the various apps. And, some weeks, here's the thing. Some weeks are better than others. I have been trying to make a conscious effort to be less online, less on social media, because, it gets to the comparison game. Listen, and this has been said often, but listen, social media, it's a highlight reel. It's not real life. It's just everybody's highlight reel. So let's be careful if we're starting to compare ourselves. Through the next full week, keep track of how much time you spend on social media each day. You can either check the clock when you start and finish using these apps or social websites, use a timer, or download an app such as Antisocial or Rescue Time that will automatically track how much you use certain apps throughout the day. I actually have a friend of mine removed all apps off of his phone. All he has basically is his phone app and his text message app, and if he needs to go check social media, he actually has to go online and log in and check social media that way. So basically putting some intentional obstacles or barriers in your place to keep you from getting so quickly on, because it's so easily to do, even when you've just got a little bit of downtime, which I find myself doing sometimes. I'm totally guilty of this. You have just a little bit of downtime. Oh, I got like a minute here. I'll just pop on social media real quick, see what's going on, get that FOMO, that fear of missing out. So let's do a little bit better about being online and focus a little bit more on our mental health instead of somebody else's highlight reel. All right, we are going to pause for station identification. Back with hour 3 right after this.
FM 104.5 K2A3CM Auburn and AM 950 KAHI Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On KAHI, your day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two, with a dad joke fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee, don't hit snooze. It's Chris in the morning with your daily news.
Yeah. And good Wednesday morning to you. It is July 23rd, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 8 a.m. here at FM 104.5 AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down in beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, air-conditioned, all the adjectives, Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn. Looking outside at, gang, let's just be honest. What a week we're having. Another fantastic day. If this is going to be July, I will take it today and twice on Sunday. So good. We're going to check in with meteorologist Tim Root to see just how long we can keep this nice, cool streak going here. But yeah, cooler today as well. Looking forward to another. Man, I had my windows open overnight and had to actually shut them this morning. I was actually a little too chilly out there. I think it was 55 degrees when I checked my weather app this morning when I got up. And yes, please. For July, I will absolutely take that. I'm sure you will as well. Hey, coming up a little bit later on this hour, we're going to have Scott Wofford in here again. Just because it's cooler outside, gang, just because the humidity seems a little bit higher, that does not mean that we cannot be diligent about our defensible space and making sure that we're taking care of our properties, making sure that we're noticing properties around us. I actually had to give my neighbor a call, and I said, he owns the house. He rents it out to other people, so he's not in the house himself, but has renters there. And I called him up and I said, there's a big old tree next to the house that I think it should have green leaves on it at this point, and it doesn't. So maybe give a heads up on that. So maybe good. And he talked to him the other day, and he's like, oh, thanks for letting me know about that, man. Yeah, it looks like there's something that got in the tree, and it looks like it's deader than a doornail, so it's right next to the house. So I'm like, man, I do not want that tree to come down on your house there. It seems like that would be a huge bummer. So yeah, let's just be vigilant about keeping our eyes out for vegetation and making sure that we're taking care of our properties as well. And Scott will help us give us some more pro tips on how we can make sure that we're taking care of our defensible space. But hey, as we're getting started here on this Wednesday, by the way, we love to do this at the top of the hour. If it's your birthday today, happy stinking birthday to you. Come on, let's give you yours. If it's your birthday today, you share it with Pee Wee Reese, American baseball player and sportscaster. Don Imus, American radio host, born on this day in 1940. Woody Harrelson, yeah, that Woody Harrelson, Woody from Cheers, born on this day in 1961. Slash, English-American guitarist and songwriter, born on this day in 1965. Philip Seymour Hoffman, American actor, born on this day in 1967. Alison Krauss, American singer, songwriter, and fiddler, born on this day in 1971. And Daniel Radcliffe, yeah, that Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, born on this day in 1989. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you on this very controversial day. I don't know if you've been keeping up in the news here, but there's this a whole lot of controversy going around. Oh my gosh, the owner of In-N-Out, she's moving to Tennessee. She's moving the headquarters of In-N-Out to Tennessee. In-N-Out's leaving California, California roots. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Everybody panic, everybody panic. Well, no, turns out the In-N-Out billionaire owner, and not a bad shake at 43 years old. What's her name? Lindsay Snyder said, she said, no. The headquarters are staying here. She says, quote, "We're not moving In-N-Out Burger's corporate headquarters," said on Monday. "We're not leaving California or leaving our roots behind. Each one of our locations are here to stay." And she's just after that controversy that she said she's moving to Tennessee. So, no, they're staying here. In-N-Out staying here. So nobody panic. Her grandparents founded the popular burger chain in 1948 in Baldwin Park, California. So, yeah, everybody, it's staying here. In-N-Out isn't going anywhere. They're just moving. They're going to open an office in Tennessee, probably following a bunch of the Californians over to Tennessee that have moved here. But yeah, In-N-Out is still here to stay. Nobody panic. It's not going anywhere. All right, it is 4 minutes past the top of the hour, and we need to check in with meteorologist Tim Root for our weather today. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies today. Warm temperatures in the low 80s. A southwest wind about 6 to 12 miles per hour. Light winds tonight, mostly clear skies in the mid to upper 50s. It'll be in the low 80s again on Thursday, mostly sunny skies expected and light southwest winds. Friday's going to be mostly sunny, right around 82 degrees. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Placer Farm Supply is celebrating 75 years serving our community. It was wonderful to see everyone who came to our Customer Appreciation Day. For those of you that could not attend, we are still running specials on diamond lemon rice and alfalfa hay. We are welcoming spring with our new garden center, including flowers, herbs, vegetables, soil, and adorable pots. Stock up on your supplies for your flock and pick up some baby chicks. They are sure to go fast with all the demands, so come down soon. Supply is limited. Placer Farm Supply for all your farming and ranching needs.
5 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:05 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, Scott Wofford's going to be here. Yeah, it's just because it's cooler outside, gang. We still need to be thinking about defensible space, making sure we're staying on top of that, reminding ourselves that, unfortunately, fire season, it's here most of the year, and it's here to stay. We're not out of the clear, really, until we hit probably about December. So Scott will keep us up to date on all of those things. Off now to JT in the morning. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
Welcome to it, Tedsty.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
Oh, and yes, they do. There's your Chuck GPT for the moment. And as we watch this unravel and then re-ravel itself, that's the fascinating bit about this, is as it unravels, it re-ravels, and it's kind of watching this perpetual motion machine known as the Trump administration going on. I was asked the question earlier, and I spent a little time scouring sources just because I didn't want to just knee-jerk reaction to it. Andy in Florida made a statement that I knew there was a vestige of a thing, of a shadow, of a guess, of a hint, of an allegation. There was something that connected the word conspire to something good, and it's all I really was able to find is the old expression, once you have made a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. But also doesn't include whether or not you had a good intent for that. But for the most part, in all the definitions I was able to find on the word conspire, it involves doing something untoward, doing something criminal or illegal or evil. And I think that comes from the fact that you have to conspire in secret. It's generally been my hold that if you can't do something in front of everybody, you probably shouldn't be doing it. And that thus might be the case with this. Now you say, well, Joe, there are some things you shouldn't know. Are there some things I shouldn't know, or some things I shouldn't know because you shouldn't be doing them? You see what I'm saying is that there is nuance to this. And it comes down to whether or not you can know something. Because if you're not allowed to know something, then it's not a free society anymore, and we might be fine with that. We might be okay with it not being a free society anymore because we've grown so accustomed to our stuff. And, the potential of a free society might mean a curtailment of some of your stuff. We've got folks ringing in with us here. So let me jump to our first things, and then we'll get our news on the way, and then we can talk about the things that we report to you. So our first things this morning, brought to you by the First Free in the Morning coffee blend. Find it at First Free, on the First Free in the Morning coffee blend link at 127.roasters. Spokesperson for President Barack Obama said Tuesday that it was outrageous that President Donald Trump accused him of treason over the 2016 election fraud claims. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has told Newsmax there will be more documents released today, specifically putting the lie to that statement. Meanwhile, President Trump had the president of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., was at the Oval Office announcing a trade deal with the president. And then after that, he announced a trade deal with Japan. He may be heading to China in the not-too-distant future, the president said during the briefing after the Marcos visit. And he said he's looking at removing taxes on capital gains in home sales. Quote, if the Fed would lower rates, we wouldn't even have to do that. But we are thinking about no tax on capital gains on houses. And Colorado's Democratic Party Attorney General Tuesday sued a sheriff's deputy for releasing information on a detainee that the sheriff had picked up in a traffic stop. So those are our first things this morning. Let me get to you guys at 434-882-4217. And as we got folks lining up and texting in and calling in, and let me get this text, and then let me get to you. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Thomas. First thing this morning. Who's this?
Good morning, Joe. This is your buddy Lawrence Wendt.
Ex-congressional candidate Lawrence Wendt. Good to hear from you, sir. What's going on out there in the Northwest where the fog is thick, and not just the atmospheric fog?
Well, I used to have some problems with substances that sort of altered my mind and perceptions and stuff. But the Democrats kicked me out of the party because they said I'm too crazy to be one of them. So I've got to riddle me this morning, Joe.
Uh-oh.
The Congress passes laws, right? It passes laws, and the president signs the laws, and then those laws go into effect.
Supposedly.
And then we hire law enforcement officers, as in ICE officers and Border Patrol officers and DHS officers. And yet, members of Congress and their allies in the media are vilifying them as Nazis for enforcing the laws that they pass.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, and all the time.
At Hot Shot Secret, we listen to our customers. Everyday Diesel Treatment delivers a 6-in-1 premium fuel treatment for every fill-up, every time. Our fans call it EDT.
I'm Nathan from Ellisville, Mississippi, and I drive a 2017 Ford F-350 Power Stroke. I've been using Hot Shot Secret EDT every tank for almost 3 years, and I've seen about 1.5 to 2 miles per gallon increase in fuel mileage.
Everyday Diesel Treatment is available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com.
Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is July 23rd, and it is 14 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:14 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Colfax. Currently 64 degrees right now. Looking for high today. Very nice. Come on, we'll take this. 80 degrees. All right, gang, we've been talking about it all morning. Scott Wofford is here back in the studio. Scott, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning.
Well, we were talking a little bit earlier today about, just because the weather's cooler doesn't mean that summer is over, not by a long shot. Still in fire season, so let's not sit on our laurels, not get apathetic here about like, it's fine. It's the temperature is great. It's going to be like this for the rest of the year. Still plenty warm out there. What are you seeing right now as you're going out there, and especially right now in July, and we've still got quite a bit of stretch ahead of us here before
we do. We have.
I don't think we're ever out of the woods, but how are we looking here?
This is a nice break.
Yeah.
Especially on my side of things when I'm out operating.
I was going to say, being outside in this.
Anybody that works outside lately is really enjoying the weather.
Yeah.
For that fact. I mean, it is nice. It's comfortable. But no, we are still in fire season. We still have the fire hazards. Even on the days like this where we have higher relative humidity and cooler temperatures, we can still burn.
Yeah.
The grass is still dry, the fuel is still there.
Right.
So, the fire hazard is still there. It's just not as elevated or extreme because we don't have the elevated temperatures. We may not have the wind. And then also a big factor. So there's factors in regards to fire weather. And then when it comes to red flag warning, for example, and that's based on relative humidity, temperature, and wind.
Okay.
So those 3 factors can come together to have extreme fire. That's what a red flag warning is about, warning everybody that everything's coming together for extreme fire behavior.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know about other people now, and probably you, especially now. Like when it's a windy day, and it's dry outside, I get nervous now. I don't know about other people, but if the wind starts to kick up now, I'm like, I don't think that's a good thing. If anything starts, it's not going to be great.
Yeah. Try not to have that fear because windy days are not necessarily going to say that a fire is going to lose control or out of control.
Okay.
We still have the resources. We have the air tankers. We have the ability to get on that fire quickly. So it could be a windy day, and that fire could only get to maybe 100 by 100 acre or 100 by 100 foot, not 100 acres.
Okay.
We do the smaller fires. We can get out, and it all depends on a lot of different factors: where the fire started, what type of fuel is it in, and what type of topography. Are we on flat ground or are we on a 45-degree slope?
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a lot of different factors on how a fire spreads and grows and how fast it can go.
Well, that's good to know. And yeah, it's definitely, I have definitely learned I hear the spotter planes now. Like you can just tell them by the engine, like the engines that they're like, the spotter planes are out. And so you go to the Watch Duty app to see if anything's popping up on there. But definitely, there's definitely ways for us to keep track and love it. By the way, way, gang, if you don't have that Watch Duty app on your phone, you got to get it because they do fantastic job alerting and letting you know if there's an evacuation zone, where the fire's happening, constant updates as well. It's a very, very handy app there. But Scott, as you're talking to folks right now, as people are calling you, what are you hearing from folks? What are their concerns, and what are you trying to make folks aware of right now, especially in the middle of, well, kind of feels like the middle of summer here?
Well, yeah. Right now, we still have good time that we can do a lot of this work. We haven't hit the dead of summer. You know, some people, some neighborhoods are still active. As much as I'm out there doing my side of things with my equipment and the mulching and the masticating, you know, there are people that are all, you know, they're taking down trees, they're cleaning out stuff. There's still time in our weather. We're not in extreme fire weather right now, you know, and also we got to make sure that people aren't using like the mower blades or the weed whackers with blades in the middle of summertime. That's where we have the fire hazards. You know, so that's commonly in the middle of summer when we have that afternoon fire, that you know, the small little ones that we deal with all over Placer County. Oftentimes those are from negligent people using yard equipment at the wrong time. It's not the best time in the middle of August at 2 p.m. to go mow your grass.
Okay, so to that respect then, so how do you protect that? Is there, because you're out there, you're using some pretty big equipment, you're mulching, and I'm sure there's some metal blades going, and you're probably amongst the rocks there and whatnot as well. Is there a time where if you're working on, let's say it's a hot day or even any day like this where there's a round, do you cut off at a certain point, or how do you, I imagine you have a fire extinguisher with you as you're out there working. How do you limit yourself on that?
So I actually have a fire engine with me. So
you do?
When I'm out in and I'm dealing with extreme fire weather or anything like that, I actually have a water trailer that I've modified to a fire engine. So in my past, along with the fire department, I've used to build fire engines.
Okay.
And so I've actually been in the process of modifying my water trailer to actually meet specifications for a type fire engine. So within fire engines, there's typing. So there's a type 1, type 2, type 3. Type 4, 5, and 6. And what that is that's so the state can know what their resources are to order them up to assign them to a fire. So, for example, when we talked in the past, and I explained like how there's a strike team, and a strike team composes of 5 engine companies. If you order up a Type 1 strike team, those are all going to be structure engines that you're going to be seeing. Auburn's main engine is a structure engine. And then if you look at the wildland rigs, those are considered a Type 3, 4, 5, and Type 6.
Are those like the CAL FIRE engines that we see going
on? The CAL FIRE engines are a Type 3.
Okay.
The fire engines on a 3500 or a 550 chassis, those move up into a Type 5 or a Type 6.
Okay.
So basically, I have a Type 6 fire engine on a trailer that I can bring with me when I'm working. So I have fire hose, I have the pump, I have 500 gallons of water.
Oh my gosh.
And like right now, where I'm going to work after this interview, the pants I'm wearing right now are Nomex, they're firefighting gear. So if for some reason while I'm out working, if there was a fire to start, I literally put my firefighting gear on, I grab my web gear, which has my fire shelter, and I would go into firefighting mode.
Oh my gosh.
So when I'm out working, I actually have my own fire engine with me.
So you're like, more than a fire extinguisher, pal. I've got a whole engine. So that's just, you're bringing that along with you to the job site. So it's you. So wherever, out in the field or wherever, that's coming with you out there. So you've got quick access to.
So I have access to it if I need that. And for the most part, though, I do cause sparks. I can see the sparks when I'm mulching. If I hit granite, I have carbide teeth that'll bounce off the granite, but that will cause. I'll get some sparks on some of it. And anyways, this is where being a fireman also comes into play. For fire to start, you have to have the right air-fuel ratio.
Right, okay.
The good thing is when I'm mulching, I am kicking up a huge amount of dust and dirt. So in essence, if there's any bit of spark, it's getting extinguished by dirt pretty quickly.
Okay.
So the likelihood in all the time that I've been mulching and all the different weather from wintertime to I have mulched in the middle of August. I have never had a ember, I've never had a smolder, I've never had any light grass even come close to igniting. I've never had to firefight when I'm working. I've never started anything on fire. I'm not saying it's not possible.
Sure.
But because of the air fuel ratio and then the amount of dust and dirt that I'm kicking up in that moment,
Yeah.
it's almost self-extinguishing it.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
I'm not saying that it could never happen.
Yeah.
The likelihood of it is slim. And as a fireman, I'm also very aware to that. Most likely, I would smell the fire before even noticing it because
Sure.
I'm so in tune to smelling smoke.
And that's opposed to somebody who's just got their weed eater where there's probably not a lot of dust that's being kicked up on that. You're mainly if you're out there, especially with the dry
Yeah.
grass or something, or your lawnmower, you hit a rock and you spark something. there's
Exactly.
not
That
kicking
spark
up
can
too
go
much.
fly off and then smolder, and you're already moved on mowing.
Oh, I see.
And it
Yeah,
sits there
yeah.
and smolders a second, and then it gets enough ignition that it takes off, and now your field or your pasture's on fire, or your hill.
So I've always heard and I tell my kids this, and is this like an old wives' tale, or is it basically typically before 10 a.m. I tell my son, hey, if you're gonna go out and mow, make sure you get the yard done before 10 o'clock in the morning before it starts to get pretty hot out there. Does that make that much of it? I don't want him out there mowing during the heat of the day anyway, but does that really help us if we're gonna do something like that?
Like we were talking about just a moment ago, the weather.
Yeah.
A lot of it plays into the weather. There are days where, we have those stretches of 100 plus degrees, and oftentimes we don't cool down a lot at night.
Yeah.
So we could have, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, you could already be at 90 some odd degrees with a 20% relative humidity.
Mm-hmm.
The key factor for when grass ignites and the lighter flashy fuels comes down to the relative humidity.
Okay.
If you have high humidity, you're not going to have fire.
Right.
The lower the humidity, the more likely that fuel is going to ignite.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's really the key indicator is the humidity of the day.
Okay.
And the temperature. The temperature more is for your own body, your own exhaustion, what you can do. I can work out in 100-degree heat much better than other people can, but I've been doing it my whole life. We're working on a fire line, going into structure fires. We're operating in heat all day, all the time.
Yeah,
so
you're
it's
accustomed
part
to
of
it.
part of how our bodies are conditioned. We don't. We're not indoor air conditioning type people.
Yeah. Well, now I'm going to have my son just have a super soaker on his back, and just as he's walking around, here, son, you've got your own little fire brigade now.
But the key is also too. I mean, if you're going to work outdoors, you got to hydrate. You got to drink a lot of water. You got to stay hydrated. I mean, that's one of the things. I go through a gallon of water a day. It's part of my
I'm sure. Yeah, you're sweating it all out there anyway. But that's definitely good to know. Hey, if you're just tuning in, talking to Scott Wofford, he's ex-fireman and now doing Sierra Defensible Space, his business going around taking care of all of the mulching needs and cutting down things. Now, Scott, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. When we come back, I saw what I thought was some mulching going on around my house. That had to be some pretty heavy equipment that they were using. I want to get your thoughts on that and what kind of equipment that you're using. We'll be back with more with Scott right after this.
Hi, this is Mike Nichols. What are you doing Sunday? Join me for the KAHI Swap Shop this Sunday morning at 8. If you have something to sell, or if you're looking for something, maybe you're having a yard sale, or perhaps you have a freebie you want to give away, you can give me a call and we can chat about it live on the air.
What do you say now? If it's a nice day now, what are you doing Sunday, baby?
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you that Chris in the Morning really is the best way to start your day. And he's not paying me to say this at all. Wink. And yes, he really is holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI Worldwide Headquarters Studios, Monday through Fridays, 6 to 9 a.m. Chris in the Morning here on FM 104.5, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com. Now, where is that $3 gift card he said he'd leave me for saying nice things about him? Man, that guy's a cheapskate.
Not able to tune into AM 950 KI whenever you want? That's not fair. Have a strict boss that only listens to music and never local news? He's not very informed then, but you knew that. Don't worry, you can get KI's up-to-the-minute news information and local advice from our talented KI news team anywhere you want now. Follow KI on Twitter or like KI on Facebook to receive local news updates multiple times a day. You can also download our KI radio app at KI.com and enjoy the voice of the foothills at AM 950 KI at any time, day or night.
26 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:26 a.m. Talking to Scott Wofford here. We're talking about defensible space and how we can make sure that we're staying on top of things. Just because the weather is cooler, gang, let's not get lax. Let's not forget about that. We are still in fire season. We are in prime time right now. So, Scott, we were talking before we went to the break. I was walking around the neighborhood the other day, and there's some property that's owned by the railroad. So I think the railroad... I don't know. This property, I've never seen this cleared out before. They did some major work out there, so I don't know if they were forced to do this or they just decided to be a good neighbor and cut down some of this. But, I mean, they just chewed through these like berry bushes and this really thick underbrush. You could tell that they probably took some heavy equipment there. What kind of equipment are they using, do you think, to, because I mean, there's these really thick bushes that you could just see were cut off right at the ground there. What are they using to get rid of some of that stuff?
It's most likely the same equipment that I use.
Okay.
And so what basically my machine is I have an excavator.
Okay.
It can be an excavator. It could be a track loader. Anything like that.
Yeah.
It could be a bulldozer. They can put these mulching heads on the front of a bulldozer. It just has to have some sort of in some way to move the mulching head.
Yeah.
Actually, the company that makes my mulching head, they've actually started making remote controlled machines.
Ooh.
So it's a completely unmanned remote control machine.
There you go.
And the interesting thing about that is that actually comes from the military because they were actually used as demining machines.
I was going to say, it sounds like something, they go out in front of you.
It was going out in front to find demining.
Oh,
and so what they
interesting.
did is they just modified it to put a mulching head on the front of it.
Okay. Well, that
And
makes
so,
sense.
and then the advantage of those machines is they work really great on high slopes. They can go up to a 55-degree slope.
Oh my gosh.
So they
really?
can climb mountainsides.
Well, that's what I was thinking because like it's up and down. I'm like, man, that'd have to be miserable if you're having to push something. I'm sure that there's kind of self-propelled as well, but like having to kind of navigate some of this terrain looked like it was going to be pretty rough. So, which I'm sure you've had to do as well.
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of different terrain, and actually the interesting thing is I did an estimate for a gentleman that for his property, and his property butts up to the railroad, and they just came through and did his railroad. The reason he called was because the railroad started the cleaning and then stopped at his property line. And they already cleaned up their responsibility.
Yeah.
So the thing that you saw, so the railroad has been on it, whether it was out of their own good or the state or whoever, because they are the ones responsible. Just like PG&E is responsible for their maintenance on their equipment and their property, the railroad has to maintain theirs.
Yeah.
Cal Fire needs to maintain theirs. State Park needs to maintain. Every agency has to maintain their responsibility area.
It seems like we're getting a lot more vigilant about it now, which is good to see.
Yeah.
Now, it was really bad because we wanted to pick some berries, but we're like, all the berries got chopped down. But in the sense of like, hey, from a fire-wise perspective,
but
we're doing a lot better.
that is also the benefit. So here it is. You're talking about it because you saw what the railroad was doing.
Yeah.
And when these government agencies or private entities get involved, that actually is beneficial on the smaller scale for neighborhoods because that starts the conversation.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, look at these machines and this equipment, and you're inquiring about it, but at least you're seeing that, hey, there's some work being done.
Yeah.
And that's what we need more of the community and the county to see work being done. So they go, hey, I need to have that done to my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I need that at my house, on my property, whatever it is. Because there is a lot of people that are unaware of it still, of the fire need and the purpose of defensible space.
Yeah, it was really encouraging to see and say, oh, like this bit of land that we've seen has just been overgrown for years and years now, and that something's actually being done with it. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look the best, but now it's basically
they're
looks
going
better.
in there. They're going in
being
there
proactive.
for a purpose of cleaning it out. They're not
Yeah.
going in there to beautify it or make it a park setting. They're looking to make it safe, and they're going in there for the least amount of time invested because they've got
other stuff to
acres
do.
upon acres
Yeah.
upon acres to do.
They got stuff to do. Now, we were just talking during the break there, we were talking about one of the things that you're kind of getting the word out there now and talking about is not just, okay, individuals are taking a look at this and their properties, like you mentioned the gentleman with property backing up to the railroad there, but also neighborhoods. We were talking about just here in South Auburn, you were doing one, and how do you get as yourself maybe, but maybe your neighbors aren't on board? How are we starting the conversation there for neighborhoods?
So this is something that is new to me. I wasn't expecting this in the direction of the business is getting involved with homeowners associations or neighborhood associations or neighborhood groups. Because really, I'm starting to see as the more I'm going out, talking to communities, talking to whether it's on the radio or public events or whatever, and getting to the word out about defensible space and helping people to understand this, I'm seeing there's a lot of different needs. It's not just all simple about around your own structure, your own home, because I'm seeing there are people that could invest all the time and all the money and have all the right clearance and all the right hardening. They could have fire sprinklers. They could have all the right vents.
Yeah.
They could have it all done. But if the neighborhood isn't safe, then it's a losing battle, because ultimately, if some neighborhoods are so unsafe, the fire engines may not even come into that neighborhood, because getting into there is so overgrown and so dense.
Yeah.
There's no escape routes. There's no way for us as firemen to leave. So that is one of the big factors for us. The main idea for defensible space is fire prevention, but also it is to provide space for the firefighters to protect your home.
Yeah.
We're the firemen coming in. We need to have the space, though, that we can escape. If that fire is to burn us over, we need to be able to escape. We need to get out.
Yeah.
And so on some neighborhoods, for example, you have multiple streets that go in and out of a neighborhood. That's great. We have multiple escape routes. Some neighborhoods are a dead end.
Yeah.
If you're at a dead end and you've got vegetation all around you and you have to drive through dense forested tree coverage, you're trapped. If that fire comes across your entrance, you're either going to have to wait for that fire to burn over, or you're not going to go into that neighborhood. And so this is where the strike teams, the engine companies in a large fire have to triage neighborhoods and triage whether or not they can actually make a difference in that neighborhood. So when I'm talking to these associations, I'm starting to look at more on the neighborhood scale. I'm starting to go on to more of the macro size, not just the individual homes. Yes, individual homes still have their responsibilities, but also then in these associations or neighborhoods, there's also a bigger need, because they have common areas, they have community property, or they have large acreage.
Yeah.
And that all needs to be maintained.
So because I imagine this would be a delicate process. So maybe my house is fine, but there's that one house in the neighborhood that maybe, whether it's negligence or they just don't have time, or it just isn't on their radar, where a house or a couple houses where you're like, oh, that looks like it could be a problem if, maybe that would cause, God forbid, if an engine company comes down the road and they're like, nope, that we can't go down this road because that makes us too vulnerable there. Because obviously people have rights and we can't just go and bang on their door and say, you need to do this. But how do we maybe get our neighbors on the same page? Or is that having community events? Because I know you do a lot of education. Like, how do you kind of subtly, like, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, maybe we need to take care of this little problem that we have here?
That's one of the problems that we're working on. I'm working on and seeing, and that's what my wife and I were discussing and looking at solutions for, because there are the neighbors that are very aware of defensible space and they want to do it and they're on board. And there are neighbors in the community that were like, whatever, I don't care, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And there's neighbors that are, don't touch my trees, don't cut one limb. There's pushback from that, and a lot of that comes down to public education, talking to the public and being involved, but also to talking to more of the people in the community. And so when I'm going out to different neighborhood associations, I'm usually talking to a group, whether it's stakeholders in the whole thing, the homeowners, or whether it's board members or anything like that. I'm speaking to them to letting them know what's best for their community and what the needs are.
Okay.
And so ultimately, when it comes to that, that falls on how the association is going to handle it.
Okay.
If you've got one neighbor who doesn't want to participate, then the association has their own rules and all of that.
Sure.
There are ways outside of that. I mean, yeah, you can go to the neighbor if there's a neighbor that's definitely a hazard and not a problem. Yeah, you can go to CAL FIRE and request an inspection or start making a formal complaint down the road, but that's going through the county and doing things as you would just have a complaint on anything else if you had a neighbor who was blasting loud music. It would be the same type of complaint process if someone was being a nuisance.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the same thing. It's the vegetation would be the nuisance. So it would be that type of process, but there is a process. But that's where I kind of come into the play is like, I'll come knock on someone's door and say, hey, you know what? I'm working here at your neighbor. They have some concerns. Can we look at some ways that we can work together?
Yeah.
So we can give each other some defensible space. Maybe we can do a shaded fuel break. What can we do to help thin this out so this neighborhood is survivable.
Yeah. That's really interesting. I was gonna say the passive aggressive way of just like leaving your card on different people's doorstep. Not that you're doing that, but the neighbors are doing that. Of like, hey neighbor, by the way, maybe give these guys a call and trim some stuff down there. I love that. If folks are maybe they want to have you come out and look, because I know education is like the foremost for you. Like one of the things that you're passionate about is just educating folks, or maybe they have a neighborhood association. How can folks get a hold of you to just come out and educate and maybe just say, hey, please take a look at our property here and let us know what's up, and if you can help, that's great, or how we can make sure that we're ready for fire season?
Well, the easy way is you can go to our website, www.sierradefensiblespace.com.
Okay.
And there's a button, a link on there just to fill out a quick little questionnaire, and we'll contact you.
Okay. Great.
Put in your information, and you can contact us. You can also get a hold of us by phone.
Yeah.
Which is 530-580-0557. And you'll talk to my wife. She's the one that answers the phone. We're just a small family-run business, and we're here to help any way that we can. Again, I can go out to neighborhood associations, different groups, different communities, different business groups. I've been talking to real estate groups, real estate offices, because defensible space applies to the real estate market too. And that's where some of the problems that we see is one of the problems, for example, is new buyers coming into a neighborhood that don't know they're buying in a fire-prone area. And so that's one of the challenges that I'm facing, going back to the question of the neighbors that don't want to help.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, those are outsiders that just bought the house in the neighborhood, and they
don't understand.
They don't understand, or they didn't know that they were buying. Oftentimes, some of these people looked at the house. The house that they moved into right now, they saw it in January when it was still green. And who knows what the time frame was, and now they move in and everything around them's dead, and they're like, oh, we're in a fire hazard zone. Yeah, you're in a hazard.
What do you mean I can't have fireworks here? Well, you were my old neighborhood. I could shoot off fireworks all the time. Well, that's not how that operates around here.
Yeah.
Normally.
So I'm talking to real estate markets, or offices and real estate groups and things like that. So I've talked to community associations and groups and all kinds of different things. It's all about helping everybody understand the importance of defensible space and the need for it, and that it is going to take a community-wide involvement, or a county-wide or neighborhood-wide groups, because it's just not one person that can do it all by themselves.
Yeah.
Because you could have the most fire-safe house. It could be a picture-perfect fire-safe house, but if everybody around you is completely wild and overgrown, it's a losing battle.
It takes a village. It absolutely takes a village when we're all in it together. My input depends on your output depends on my input, and how all that works. That's really good. Hey, Scott, in about a minute that we have left here, what are you seeing that homeowners are doing right? And what's one of the most common mistakes that you see folks are doing when it comes to defensible space or making sure their house is prepped for fire season here?
One thing I think people are unaware of, unsure of, is the CAL FIRE recommendations are that. They are the recommendations. Those are the minimum recommendations. So when CAL FIRE recommends, okay, for example, zone 0 is the newest zone of 0 to 5. That is the minimum. That's not saying you can go 10 feet or you shouldn't go 10 feet or 15 feet. It's all dependent on your house, your land, what you have, and the neighborhood around you. What does your neighborhood have that's going to dictate what you need? But just remember, those CAL FIRE guidelines are just that, a minimum guideline to start from. It can always expand, and the more space that you have, the more space you're giving firemen for them to do their job, protect your home, and to escape.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that's what defensible space is giving us the chance to save your home.
That makes a whole lot of sense. We're talking to Scott Wofford here, Sierra Defensible Space, ex-firefighter as well, fireman as well, knows all of the things and all about firefighting and what they're looking for when they're coming in. God forbid they need to come into your neighborhood or onto your property, making sure that you're setting them up for success and also setting yourself up for success in defending your home. Scott, thanks so much for coming in again, giving us a heads up, keeping this on the forefront of our minds here. Again, if folks want to reach out to you or get a hold of you, how can they do that?
You can get a hold of us at our website, sierradefensiblespace.com, or you can get a hold of us by phone and talk to my amazing wife, Jen, and her phone number, or the business phone number, is 580-0557. No, Jen, I'm not giving your personal phone number out.
No. Jen's going to be saying, like, wait a second here. You're giving my cell phone number out. People are blowing up my phone.
That's our business phone.
That's fantastic. Scott, thanks for coming in. We'll be back with more right after this.
A favorite actress tells a story that's really incredible on Pop Talk. Hi, Mary Jane Pop here. Do you like avocados? Let's check out how awesome they can be for your health. Then let's check out how the planets affect our lives and our future. An astrologer shares. And do you believe in miracles? Just what are they? Lots of questions, and we go in search of answers on Pop Talk Saturday 5 to 7 a.m., Sunday 9 to 11 p.m., and 24/7 at KAHI.com. Let's talk.
Here's Fred Penny with Penny & Associates.
When you or a family member have been injured in an accident, what should you look for in a personal injury lawyer? The first thing is an experienced personal injury law firm that is actually taking cases to trial. Hi, I'm Frederick Penny, managing partner and founder of Penny & Associate Injury Lawyers. For over 30 years, Penny & Associate Injury Lawyers has been successfully representing individuals and their families. At Penny & Associates, we're experienced trial lawyers, and we work with you to get the best results.
Go to PennyandAssociates.com or call 800-616-4529.
When your mind creates an image, it's vivid. When your mind imagines a smell,
the bread, she's already.
it's as enticing as being in the kitchen. And when your mind interprets a sound, you're standing there watching the action. Radio, the medium that works with your mind. Radio paints the picture. Radio touches the senses. Radio constructs the vision you never see. When radio is used creatively, effectively, it brings sight, sound, and feelings to everyone. Use radio for your message. There's no better way to get the word out. Call this station for details. On radio, the medium that works with your mind.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the Morning, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, interviews, and local event reminders you can handle, plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes. Chris in the Morning, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills. I never miss it, and neither should you. My goodness, it's early.
Wounded Warrior Project helps post 9/11 veterans and their families realize what's possible. With support and resources that bring warriors together and empower them to become stronger, both inside and out.
It's possible to begin healing, to get the help you need,
to find peace. And as each warrior's needs evolve, so do we. Because these last 20 years are just the beginning. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
44 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:44 a.m. Well, gang, we just went a little bit longer today than normal, talking to Scott Wofford with Sierra Defensible Space. Thanks so much, Scott, for coming in. Hey, we're going to finish off with the O'Reilly Report this hour. Hey, reminder, Giants game is coming up here in just a little bit at 9:15 a.m. Early game today. Until we see each other tomorrow, remember to be kind, to be honest, be yourself, and remember, you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Have a great day. Off now to the O'Reilly Report.
Update.